Not to get too deep, but I've read where they're like the whole point of like being like when you see the light or whatever, supposedly like you're being born.
Yeah, you're coming
so that,
through the
and you're
hole
crying
again.
because you can't remember.
Right.
Yeah.
My life.
Yeah. But then
My
But
life.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I want to do this again.
I know, right? But
Oh,
you could.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
What if you need the water for fire?
Ooh. Yeah, you're right. You
I've
probably
tripped myself up my
you
own
did?
Well, if
conundrum.
if it's a gas fire, you don't put it out with water.
What do you put
Maybe it
a
depends
gas
on
fire out with?
You just smother it.
You use oil, right, or something?
You fight
But
fire
like-
with fire. You put gas on
But
the
You
fire.
put gas on.
so maybe it depends
You
on
get
the
a
fire.
flamethrower to put the fire out.
Maybe it depends on the fire.
You have to scare that fire.
You got to scare the fire into submission.
When people say you have to fight fire with fire, so we're just burning everything
We're
down.
burning everything.
You're just-
Yes.
We're just burning it all down. Then.
I mean, it eventually
If we
goes
burn it all
out.
down, the fire will be gone.
Right.
The fire goes out.
Where's the?
Once
there's
everything
no-
burns, the
nothing
fire's
to burn.
gone.
There's no fault in that logic.
Nope.
No. Except we're all dead.
Full throttle.
Being completely naked.
Naked.
On a beach, giving someone a German suplex. I did not see that. I did not have that on my bingo card.
They had to get a river.
They had to get a river. They had to get a river boat.
They had a boat.
And they need a river captain to be on that boat because you can't have a river boat without a captain. You know, they had to get a plane too, right?
Yeah,
You remember they had a
yeah,
plane?
Winston.
They got a wall.
They
A
had
wall
to
of
get.
sand.
They had to get a mummy
That's hard to get,
who came to life.
right?
Where do you even find flesh-eating bugs? Like, come on.
They're probably expensive, those bugs.
I would assume like
That's black
one.
How do you
market.
get them back in there? You're like,
That's
hey,
black
hey, hey,
market.
hey.
Yeah. You're wearing full-on
You
armor.
just-
We
you
lost another
follow-
bug wrangler again.
Full on. Yeah. We had to pay 7 different bug wranglers.
They
'cause we
just kept
losing them.
dying.
didn't
We
tell
don't.
about the other ones.
Yeah, we don't know. They just kept coming in.
They
It's
didn't
fine.
know enough about these bugs.
They didn't even ask what
We
happened.
ended
to
up
the
just
last one.
hiring random people off the street.
Give them
At
that
it.
Other than
She's-
reading from the fucking book. That,
right
like,
out loud. Like, come on.
Mustn't read from
You
the
must
book.
read from the book.
Welcome to the Decision Real Movie Review Podcast, where we try and fail to review movies of today and yesterday. This week, we're doing a re-review of a movie we did a while ago.
Well, we didn't.
I did. I've been here since day one.
It's a fresh take.
It's a fresh take. This is why we do the re-reviews, because well, Wally's not here this week. We got Josh and Tara, but most of the people that we're going to go back and do these re-reviews were not
been on
here, or we didn't get a chance to review some of these really, really, I would say, good movies, or a really good review to review a movie, right? So that's the whole idea of it. And this week, we're doing a re-review of The Mummy.
If you don't like this movie, you can just get out of here.
Get out.
Go on and
Get
Get
out
out.
of
All right,
here.
do your thing now. I'm fine. Everything's fine. Perfect.
Manifestation.
That's what they were saying during The Mummy.
Yes.
They're like, shit,
It
shit, shit,
is.
shit, shit.
I'm manifesting, like
Yes.
I've read about that manifestation. So like I'm
Manifestation.
gonna
That's the
start
thing.
doing it.
That's the thing.
And
Before we
just be
get-
like, I am so good.
Oh my
I'm
God.
so good.
Before we get too deep into it, we want to say, trying to get sponsorship, but we are tasting
really
this
feel like that's-
Southern Sipper from Southern Trail Distillery here in Southern Maryland. This is the Blackberry, I guess you would call this a moonshine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in a moonshine bottle, but I mean, it is handcrafted in Southern Maryland, 40 proof. Ooh, we're going to get fucked.
Do we call those bottles? I think they're jars.
Jars. Sorry, jars.
I could be wrong.
Let me just.
I've always called
It's
them
a jar.
jars.
Sure. Let me just read a good, got to do justice to
Blurb.
the product here. The Southern Sippers are a perfectly blended combination of our moonshine and delicious flavors. Our spirits are handcrafted in Southern Maryland alongside of the historic Three-Notch Trail in small batches using local ingredients, rich with history and full of flavor. Our distilling process is true to our family roots with a modern twist on our grandfather's classic recipe. Southern Trail Distillery prides itself on heritage and our quality products.
It's a rich history.
Rich history. I want to say something. I just read that entire paragraph without fucking up a word.
You're so good.
That's like the first time in a long time.
Words are hard.
Oh, dude, you
Have you
no
been
idea.
practicing?
I talk all day.
think?
Have you been
maybe.
reading
Have I
words?
been reading words? Maybe.
I
Maybe.
guess I would be practicing.
Like
for
to break
me.
a mental
Reading
sweat,
is
too.
practicing.
You caught me. The fucking book's upside down. I wonder if it's like the font that fucks me up.
This is all it's all caps. It's like the
That's
the
tiny.
military font. It is.
And I
it's
didn't-
tiny,
that's what
but
I'm
it's
saying.
in all caps.
I
so it's
write
not
in all
like-
caps a lot. I have a problem with that. And I read something the other day
But you're
where
in
if
the
you
aren't
write,
you're in the like
Cursive and write.
in
You're like a psychopath?
industrial service
Yeah,
type
so
of
it's
industry.
important
You're
to be
kind of
clear,
supposed to,
yeah, on, like, your
I
lettering.
think, yeah.
but I do write half cursive. I've had that problem since.
I do that too,
St.
and
Pete's.
I've read that sometimes mean you're like a psychopath.
Yeah.
So I was like,
can
cool.
you do a cursive Z?
Rarudo.
How about the word buzz?
Those are Z's.
Those are Z's.
Okay, so let's take a sip of the Southern
Sipper?
Sipper before we get into this guy here. Smells good. I like it.
I like
some
these
good
glasses.
notes.
This like gold like accent at the top.
You know, just trying
That's
to be fancy.
delicious.
Is it?
Wow. That tastes like juice. This is dangerous. And
Oh,
this is
no.
why, yeah.
Oh no!
Did you go?
No, I went
Oh.
like delish.
Also, real quick, every time you read blackberry, I was like, the darker the berry.
The
sweeter the juice.
I like it. This is actually really delectable. if
I
were to
really
say.
enjoy their blueberry
Not
lemonade
trying
sipper,
to get
Ooh.
a sponsorship,
but
of this,
they didn't have that there. I think it might be maybe that's like they made a bunch for the summertime and stuff, and then they sold out. So
That
like
more-
I don't
that
think
pretty
they-
good. That's pretty good.
I mean, I do get
pretty good.
I do get seasonal flavors, but blueberry lemonade, come on.
That's a
That's year round.
It's
Yeah.
always on their menu.
Every day,
like
all day.
they'll like you can get the blueberry lemonade as a drink there,
Oh,
but
okay.
the sipper wasn't there.
The
But I
sipper.
did go ahead and buy also along with because I bought another sipper,
Oh no!
which I'll bring another time.
Oh no!
But I did also go ahead and buy their peppermint moonshine
Sure.
while I was there.
For anybody who's listening
hot
or,
chocolate
or,
and
or
stuff.
watching, how much does a Southern Sipper cost?
I think it was like 24.
That's not that bad.
All right.
No, for something that's
Gonna get you fucked up.
20%
Sorry,
alcohol
and taste good.
and does taste good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the difference, like they do have obviously just flavored moonshine
Sure.
that you can buy. The sippers, the main difference with the sippers is they are like the proof is lower. Like
Yeah,
they
yeah,
do
yeah.
like water them down a little bit or add something to it just to make it drinkable. But even their shines,
Mhm.
like they just dropped like last week. They just released a new flavor of it's like coconut chocolate
Ooh.
or chocolate coconut. And I am not a coconut person, but she had me try like a little taster size in the shot glass. It tasted just like chocolate. And then after I swallowed it, I felt like it tasted coconut. And I was like, okay, how does it do that?
Ooh.
Like, how
Let's
did
get
it do that?
coconutty.
It was, and that was just a straight
Right.
chilled,
Yeah.
straight of the
Get your
moonshine.
ass
Right
out of
into
my
it.
face.
So some of their flavors you could just probably drink on ice,
That's good.
or
On ice or on
bad.
A little Betty.
or could get you.
I mean, it's good, but it also could and bad.
depending on how
Yeah.
much you take in.
The
of the
delicious
good.
drinks are the dangerous ones.
Well,
Oh,
when you
yeah.
have like, that's what I was saying. When you have like 2 or 3 of their drinks,
Mhm.
it's probably really like
7
like,
or
yeah,
something.
6
like
or
that.
Double-
7
like
for
double
sure.
the
Like if
Yeah.
you're going to Buffalo Wild Wings, you're not getting the same as you're getting over at the Southern Trail Distillery.
Right.
2 of their drinks is like 7 of
Yeah, for
B
sure.
Dubs. Yeah. Anyways, for anybody who actually wants to hear this movie review, we're here to review The Mummy, not the Tom Cruise Mummy.
I forget that one exists.
Have you guys seen that movie?
I turned it off.
Yeah.
Like
I
how
don't
far
do
in?
that often, but I turned it off.
It was pretty bad.
I
wasn't
don't
it?
even remember.
Is that the
enough
same
about
one
it.
with Jet Li? Or that's the
No,
different one?
That's the third of
That's
this movie.
Because that one's bad too.
It's different bad.
Yeah, different.
The
I
Tom
watched
Cruise,
that whole one.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. Now them recasting Evie and then his son all of a sudden being like this super hunk dude
Yeah.
that's like supposed to be like 18 years old, but he looks like he's 35.
Mm.
Hey, whatever. But I'm talking about the Tom Cruise The Mummy that was supposed to basically be the first installment in the Dark Universe series that Universal was trying to do.
And then they went. "Merp."
And then that movie was so bad that they went, yeah, we're just not gonna.
That movie
do
was
that.
so bad that Tom Cruise went, I'm just going to stick to Mission Impossible.
I'm gonna make 7 more.
We're making another one of those.
You're right. Yeah.
Give me 14 of them right now.
Don't watch that movie. It's on paper it seemingly was gonna be like a great movie, but then you watch it and it's so cookie cutter and so just Tom Cruisified that you're like,
Yeah.
same for me. They basically made Tom Cruise have powers.
No, Brendan Fraser doesn't have powers.
Thank
He's
you.
just a
He's
badass.
just a dude.
Yeah.
Just killing it. Killing money.
He's a
Literally.
magi.
The Magi. Anyway, so the
doesn't know
plot
that.
of
He doesn't.
He
How
does
does he
not.
not know? It's the
Doesn't
previous
know.
life.
he doesn't have the tattoos.
This movie really
Just
opened
happened to
up
get a
my-
tattoo slapped on him somewhere.
Yeah, this really opened up my mind.
I know,
for
yeah.
previous lives.
I mean, could be cool. You ever think? So let's
No.
say reincarnation. No, I don't think either. Let's say reincarnation is real, right? But you would never know because you can't remember that.
Yeah, you can't remember.
But then maybe like deja vu is something from a past life where you're like, oh.
Well, it's like that
Well,
thing.
then
Go ahead.
I was gonna
No,
say. Then there are also people
question?
that say
Question.
that like some people are, but there are people that are brand new too. Like you,
Yeah.
like because people are still born and like maybe not, maybe some nobody was reincarnated.
Sure.
with them. There's a part in
That's a
Friends.
freshie over there. Sorry, yeah.
There's a part in Friends where Phoebe, because she's a
Phoebo.
Looney Tune, was talking about her like memories from a past life when she was in a war. And Joey was being Joey and was like, man, that's so cool. I don't remember any of my past lives. And she goes, oh, that's because you're brand new.
There you go.
So have you seen like the videos where kids will say things and they're like, how do you know this information?
Mhm.
Like, how would they even comprehend
How
it?
would
Where
they,
would they
like,
watch
yeah,
it? How would they? And they're like, so like, is that real? Or is that just like,
Them coming
Like,
back.
you think that's
from-
part of it? Like, they have memories from
Right.
them seeing it or reading it
yeah.
in a past
Not
life.
to get too deep, but I've read where they like the whole point of like being like when you see the light or whatever, supposedly like you're being born.
Yeah, you're coming
So then,
through the
and you're
hole,
crying
you know.
because you can't remember.
Right.
You know.
My life. Ah!
Yeah. But then who?
My
But I'm not
life.
gonna lie. I don't know if I want to do this again.
I know, right? But
Oh,
you could.
I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
I don't. You better be able to guarantee me it's gonna be like,
Yeah.
wow,
All I
like
can
the
think
best
about-
ever. Because I don't need a rerun.
All I can think about with reincarnation is Pineapple Express. He's like, you're gonna come back as an anal bee. He's like, you want that? He's like,
You want
no. Like, I want to
Listen.
be an eagle.
I feel like
Gave him
we,
snickle fritz.
especially on this show, we should know better than anybody. A reboot's not usually better than
Yeah.
the original.
I
So
need a sequel.
Okay, let's think about this. If we're gonna do this, sorry for people who want to hear this review.
we'll get there.
We'll get there.
We will get there.
Reboots. Has there been ever, in your eyes, a movie franchise or let's say a continual release that has happened like 20 years after, right? Because you can call that a reboot or a refresh, whatever you want to call it. Has there been a movie that was good to you?
Like the second time around.
No, like let's say they made a movie in
Yeah.
the 80s or early 90s.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
for example,
And they reboot it
Yeah,
again in today's time.
And you still liked it.
And you said that's actually really good, maybe even better than the original.
Do you mean like an actual reboot
Here.
where it's like a shot for like they
What I'm saying-
remade that movie?
no, I'm gonna give you this. Ready? Like Roadhouse.
Sure.
I thought the first one, I love.
I didn't
It's
watch it.
Really
Classic.
has.
Second
You know,
one,
Jake Gyllenhaal.
yeah.
I
Second
haven't
one,
watched it.
it's fantastic, but maybe just don't call it Roadhouse. Like, why do they have to call it Roadhouse? They could have named it any other movie,
So you've
and
seen
it would have worked.
So
oh,
you've seen
absolutely.
it. So is it like shot for shot? It's meant to be like the first
no,
one,
so
or no?
essentially it's the same thing where it's a roadhouse, and but it's in today's times. It's corrupt. People want the property. People want,
But it's not like.
But
So
essentially,
what-
it is.
so
They
what
bring
are
him in.
some? 'Cause,
They
I
bring
mean, I'm
him in
kind
and
of-
clean up the. They bring him in and clean up the bar.
I'm actually blanking.
Okay, so what I was gonna kind of go to is the whole idea of like, okay, it could be another sequel, but like 20 years later. So I was gonna say Jumanji to me, the original movie,
That's great. Yeah.
amazing movie. The new one, honestly, pretty good.
It's funny.
It's funny. I enjoy it. That's what I'm saying. Is there any reboot or
I told you my one bugaboo with that movie, just out there,
Yep.
is where the guy, when he gets released from the game, he goes back to his timeline.
not?
He should be stuck
Yep.
in this timeline because
No.
Robin Williams was.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was.
Oh, no, no.
At the end
No,
of
no,
the
no, no.
first Jumanji, he
When
goes
they-
back to being a kid.
No, yeah,
Yeah.
which is
But-
what Nick Jonas
Oh
does.
man, I was wrong.
Does-
I'm just kidding. Delete. Oh, thank you.
You needed me around with my big brain,
That's what it is.
but
You're right.
I would say
Forgot he
Ghostbusters.
did that because he sees the girl and they hug.
So if Jumanji counts, then I feel like Ghostbusters counts. No,
Yeah.
The one with the kids
Well-
where he finds her dad's
new
their
one.
grandfather. Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's not bad.
that was great.
I enjoyed that movie.
That was great.
I cried.
And yeah,
Mhm.
and I feel like because it wasn't obviously shot for shot, like we said, it was not a remake.
No,
it was a
sequel.
reboot / continuation, but they did it so well, and they really like. And then the second new one,
Which one's that? The one with the ladies?
Afterlife. No.
No.
So the one with the
No, that
ladies
was
came out
before.
before this.
Bad.
That was really bad.
But they made
Why'd
a
they talk about
second-
wonton soup for like
they
half
made
the
a
movie?
second new one, like with the
Oh, they
kids,
did?
Afterlife.
and they went way too like. The way I described it to Steve before Steve saw it for himself, I said to me, it felt like they went to like Marvel, like they tried to make it this big, but then the plot fell flat, and you were just like, slow down. Like, what are we doing? So to me, it was the exact same thing that happened with the 2 original Ghostbusters. The first one was great. The second one came out and they went like super extreme with it, and you were like, they did the same. They literally repeated history. Did the same exact thing with the new ones.
I heard that the Afterlife, Ghostbusters Afterlife, the reason why it was was so they filmed it right off.
Afterlife.
That's what it's called.
The first one. That's the first new one.
Frozen Empire.
Frozen
Empire.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It even has a dumber name.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
basically, what happened was they made that movie and it was ready to go, and then COVID hit. And they had to push it back, and they kept pushing it back. COVID.
No, but I remember that it was like.
And Jason Reitman, the director, kind of went back and like made changes to it, and made bad changes to it, and because of that, the movie suffered, and the release we got is different than the release they were going to do back then.
I thought so you're saying they made changes to the second one because the first one had the delay and everything.
No. So
the first one was delayed as well,
but not because of COVID. So
you sure?
Yes. So Frozen Empire was filmed in like right before COVID came out, because if you look at McKenna Grace, she literally is super young in that movie. Wait, you're right. It is the first one was delayed to come out, and then the second one.
I'm just glad you didn't wait for me to actually Google it.
Because she looks even older in the second movie, and that's what happened. Is they were trying to make her be a 15-year-old girl, and she looks 20 because she was.
But even that whole like, there were things that like they tugged at, and then you wanted more background, more plot, but they just kept running with other shit, and you're like, okay, well, I don't understand where we are anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Top Gun.
I liked it. And that's coming from someone who wasn't even like, oh my God, Top Gun. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I went and saw the second one because Carrick wanted to see the second one, and I liked it.
I was soaking wet for the second one.
Was it the beach scene?
Oh,
yeah. I've been hearing rumors of a Days of Thunder sequel.
I've seen it.
So this is what he's going to do. He's going to make Mission Impossibles and then reboots of his own movies.
I don't care. Give me Days of Thunder 2.
Days of Thunder 2.
Days of Summer.
If he's the Harry. Or if he's like.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because what.
Or he just had like one good season and he hung him up, right? And then he's been in the shadows forever.
Since then.
And there's this young hot shot that's coming up. That's what's his face's son, the Carrie
Elwes.
Russ's son.
Yeah.
So then he's like, well, I need to come back because.
Well, no, like there's like shade being thrown of Harry's name because like they're like, oh, he was terrible. He wasn't the greatest and all this stuff. So he comes out of the shadows to be like, you're wrong, and I'm gonna prove it, and I'm gonna win the way Harry taught me, and he's gonna step back in because it's Tom Cruise. He ain't gonna give the fucking wheel to somebody else.
No,
he's gonna step back in the car at 65 years old and be like, I can take on these young bucks, and he's gonna crash and die in the first turn.
Wow.
Was that you? Did I send you that clip of when they were on Graham Norton, or when Matt Damon or someone was on Graham Norton talking about when he was at Tom Cruise's house, or he was at a party Tom Cruise was at?
I think so. You sent me a lot of Graham Norton
I don't know
clips, which is a great show.
Really
it's a good show. It's a good show.
I don't know if I sent it to you, but I think it was Matt Damon.
Sure.
That sounds right. But he said he was having a conversation with Tom Cruise, and I think it was when Matt was doing like the Bourne movies and stuff. So they were comparing like doing their own stunts and shit like that. And he was like, because Tom does it. He does it all. And he said, yeah, sometimes I'll come up with ideas and I'll go to the stunt coordinator, and I'll be in the stunt coordinator will be like, that's not safe. We shouldn't do that. And Tom's like, so then I get a new stunt coordinator. And and everybody's laughing, and Matt Damon's like, see, so that's where we differ, because if my stunt coordinator tells me, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not putting myself in there. Meanwhile, Tom Cruise is like, okay, well, then you're fired.
Yeah.
And I'm going to hire someone who's going to tell me
yes.
I can do what I want.
Yeah.
So, figure it out.
God, can you imagine the insurance policies on his movies?
Oh, dude.
Do you think he has to show up with his own?
He probably does.
You have to put
Scientology has
on
my back. I'm not gonna
Jesus,
get fucked up.
He can't get hurt.
I can't.
He's protected by science.
So I just looked up the best reboots of all time. Number 1, Scarface.
That's a reboot?
Yep. Not a lot of people know that that's a reboot of an original. And also Ocean's 11.
I knew that. Yeah. Haven't ever seen.
I love the Oceans.
Haven't seen the OG, but I did know that.
Also, John Carpenter's The Thing is a reboot.
Well, and then they did It.
It was.
To me, it was pretty much. Wasn't it pretty much shot for shot? Like it was like the same exact fucking.
No. So the if you've ever seen the original It show, it's like it's a miniseries and it's like 8 hours long. It's crazy, but it's shot as a movie, so you can't watch it like in an episodic format.
Mhm.
It's, I mean, it's kind of the same, but there's a lot of stuff they left out. Like, they left out the giant orgy scene.
Fair.
Yeah. Why? As they were children.
Because why?
Because they were
Like-
children.
Mm.
Yeah, they didn't do that. Anyways, The Mummy.
I'm stuck on episodic.
Yeah, you like that? Huh?
Wow.
We're using a lot of like.
You guys are on it today.
We're on it.
I'm using what's that
You have a
app?
calendar?
No, that app, the Bumble or no? Joking.
Bumble.
Not joking.
That's different.
I know.
That's something different.
Grammarly. I'm on Grammarly. That helps my vocabulary.
Is that an app?
I think it
Maybe
is.
it
Yeah.
should be.
That
if
sounds
it's
like an
not.
app.
It's an app, sure. Anyways, The Mummy, the plot of The Mummy. Hey, look, it's just starting. This preview has been approved for all audiences.
By who?
At an archaeological dig in the ancient city of Hamunaptra, an American serving in the French Foreign Legion accidentally awakens a mummy who begins to wreak havoc as he searches for the reincarnation of his long-lost love. I want to say something here. While that is sort of true, he doesn't awaken the mummy.
No, she does.
But if you watch the beginning of the movie, he does do something where that face comes out of the sand, right? So someone could say maybe he
That's what
started
did it. Because I was going to say, remember, they
Just
chased
by-
him into that corner.
Just by
Mhm.
being there.
Well, because he was magi.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Oh, shit, he could sense them.
Right.
But aren't those other guys magi too?
But
Yes, but they
but
kept their distance and they
exactly.
just watched.
They watched from afar.
Oh right.
Yeah.
They don't cross.
Because the
they don't
Magi are
cross
what
them.
killed him in the first place.
Well, they didn't kill him.
They didn't kill him.
And they didn't even mummify him.
Oh, that's right. They put
gave
him in the thing.
Yeah, they gave him the worst of all.
I forgot she could, yeah.
Which is funny, right? Because if you do something the worst of all, you can still come back later as having the
All the
best
powers,
power,
right?
Yeah. But
They
I guess
did-
that's
Only
the
if,
trade-off.
only if you were powerful to begin with. He was
True,
he was
very
a
true.
priest.
Right.
So
They
he
did
was
take
the high
already
priest.
They did
He
take
was
his organs,
already-
though, and then they put him in there. They
No,
had
no,
5
no.
jars.
No, not him.
Those
No,
were
those
hers?
were
Those were hers.
Those were hers.
Because if you look, and this is something I've never understood until the last time I watched it, so not this time, but the time before it, is right when he's about to stab her again when she's trying to come back to life and the Magi stop him, in front of her are all of her jars, but one of them is broken.
Mhm.
And what do you see later when they open up the box to find the Book of the Dead is all the jars are there, but one of them is broken.
Yeah, because he holds it up and he's like, "Where are the other jars?"
Exactly.
And that was
and
the
that
broken
one's the
one.
broken one. Yeah, because that's the only one they didn't take because it was
It's
already broken.
Mm.
And continuity and just writing there, like that's genius. Genius. But also, to me, like Brendan Fraser doesn't need to be Magi in this movie, but it works when you look at it.
Yeah.
Because you don't obviously find out until later, and they're like,
Yeah.
okay, he's got some.
Well, that's why he
Yeah.
is like a badass, essentially.
Yeah.
Not why, but it explains.
It's Brendan Fraser. So,
Yeah.
I mean, he is a badass. Where to watch this guy? Free on Pluto TV, or if you have a subscription, MGM Plus, Philo, Amazon Prime, Sling TV, the Roku channel, to rent, Amazon, YouTube, Google Play, Apple TV, Fandango at home.
Yeah, the Amazon one, you need like the MGM
Yeah, so that's
add-on
probably
or whatever.
which is cool, weird, whatever. Which
There's so many add-ons to all.
that would
to
be MGM
them
if it's a
now.
Universal movie.
I don't know. That's what it was in this little corner. Because when I was scrolling, I was like, "Well, guess I'm going to Plex."
Just always start there.
Just start there.
I'm
Well, I
just
was already
saying.
on Amazon.
I was
Like
already
I always
there.
listen. I check where I'm at first, and then I go because I'm like, well, I know it's going to be on that. So let me check here first if I'm already here.
Okay. That's fine. Just know, though, if it's on Plex, it's the either director's cut, unrated
Yeah,
edition,
it's always better.
or something else.
The volume is always different.
So I can't change that.
I've said something.
It's
I
just
contacted management.
Well, and I crank it up, but then when it's the music, it's
Oh.
so loud. But when they're talking, it's like
so. Then in your audio options, try to change to a different audio track. So sometimes some movies have 7.1, 5.1 surround, or they don't.
The stronger sip.
Yeah, you got the juice at the bottom there.
Settling.
So if you don't have a surround sound system built for 7.1 and it's only in 7.1, then that could be an issue because it's trying to look for extra speakers and they're not there. So then just go into the audio options and then change it to what you have.
I don't know what we have.
So
I was counting my speakers.
5.1 would be center channel, 2 fronts,
Mhm.
2 backs.
Yeah.
With a subwoofer.
Yeah.
7.1 is center channel, 2 fronts, 2 backs, subwoofer,
No, I
and
think
2
we have.
sides.
I think we have 5. Well, it's
Why does it have
5.
2?
The speakers
Which
were
is
already
fine.
there when we moved in.
So
Like
if-
they
yeah,
already
yeah.
had those.
If
so
you
we
have
just-
a like a sound bar or something, 7.1 is fine.
With the woofer.
With the woofer. Again, if it's doing that, there's some settings you can change on your actual system to like boost vocals or whatever. It's hard because you're not getting it from a single source where I'm, because I'm getting them from the DVDs that I have and I'm ripping them and putting them on there legally. So it's hard to get them to be the same things.
Fine.
It's fine. It's fine. The Mummy is written by Stephen Sommers and is also directed by him. He was pretty big back in the day. He's also done Huck Finn, The Jungle Book, Van Helsing, and all the newer G.I. Joe movies.
Like a Van Helsing.
A lot of people were like, "This movie sucks." I was in, and I still
With
love
Hugh,
that
right?
movie.
With Hugh?
Oh fuck yeah, with Hugh.
And
Looking,
Kate Beckinsale's a babe.
in those leather pants.
her accent in that movie is atrocious, but
yeah,
I'm not listening.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not listening.
With
She's
that,
got-
all that curly hair
was
and
gonna say the
those
curls.
leather pants.
But I'm looking at. I hate to say it. I'm paying more attention to Hugh Jackman. It's
Not gonna
his
lie.
hair, his mane
I
in
don't
that
like
movie. He's looking.
See, I don't like.
I don't like
I
that.
don't like the mane. No,
Like
I
my favorite part of all 4 Thor movies is when they cut his hair in Ragnarok.
I mean, I'm
like-
not a woman.
You don't like
looking
long male
for-
hair?
No.
I'm just
No, I
looking for
don't.
a good time, and he seems like a good time in the movie.
I mean, you're not wrong, but the hair is not part of it.
Not for you.
No, it's
It's
not
just
for me.
In the
Can't.
wind.
I'm not. No.
Maybe I'm
Well,
jealous.
I feel like
maybe
that was very time appropriate.
maybe jealous is what's going on here. I'd like a
You
thick
want the luscious
flowing
locks?
mane. Yeah,
Mm.
Yeah, if I could have hair again,
it'd be
it would be
it'd be
long
that.
and glorious.
yes. I'd like
Probably not.
Yeah, you're right. I'd
You know
just
what's
shave it
funny
anyway.
is I feel like the only time when I've seen like a guy with long hair and I've been like, oh, okay, is when it's back and in a bun. So then I'm like, okay, I don't actually like the long hair because I only like it when
It's in the bun.
it's not hanging.
Imagine Jason Statham with long hair.
No. Is that
Mine-
me? Good Lord, that was loud.
that was
Why
you.
that so loud? It's always sitting right here.
Well, we have these on the tell you on that.
Oh,
You can
maybe
grab
that-
it,
yeah, maybe that's
whatever. Anyways, rated PG-13 for pervasive adventure violence and some
Adventure violence.
and some partial nudity.
First of all,
Who's nude?
I like the phrase adventure
Oh, in
violence.
the beginning,
Yeah. Also,
adventure violence.
If-
down
if
for some
you're-
adventure
Just
violence?
regular violence. Adventure violence.
if you're gonna be somebody's, I don't know what that girl would have been to the pharaoh, right?
His mistress.
His
That's what
mistress
they
or-
called
or-
her. his
Yeah,
mistress.
whatever. If she's gonna be painted and she can't be touched to be seen that she's touched, what happens if you get itchy or bit by a bug? Like that's what I would have been like. Oh, someone touched you. I was
it's
fucking
hot.
itching.
It's
Yeah,
Egypt.
it's Egypt, dude. I got an itch. I got hit by a bug. Like,
Is that one of the most? That's what I think. The reason why I like this movie too is because that time period is very interesting to me.
oh yeah, dude.
Because like they really were low key, like technologically advanced.
Oh yeah.
but also not.
Well,
Well, not like
I
They
think.
weren't. Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
but like
I mean, if you look at
different
where
levels.
yeah, yeah.
But it was like all purpose.
Okay, yeah,
You know?
touche. Yeah, I get
Like
what
they
you're
didn't
saying.
have technology for pleasure. They had technology for like purpose.
Actual
Yeah.
reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Necessities.
what's crazy too is like the pyramids.
How they do it?
Well, the pyramids, how you see them today, is not how they would have looked back then. They
Correct.
were smooth,
Yeah.
right?
It was
So,
lime, right?
yeah, exactly. All that went away over the years or whatever and fall off, or people fucking stole or whatever.
Yes,
Just seeing like, yeah, all that shit, and then just the whole. I was really obsessed with Egypt when I was a child too, and like the whole King Tut's, how they found the lock. And they took like a million pictures of that lock, but
Right.
also they were in an area where they had no light, so they had to figure out a new way to photograph these things, which was wild to think about back in the 30s and all this shit. And then I don't know if this is how I think. If I was there and I was the guy that found this Egyptian tomb that was locked in a way that it was like, you know, I wouldn't open it.
It's like a cryptex essentially.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's that way for a reason.
Yeah.
We're gonna die if we open this.
That's
And
what's
it-
crazy too. Is they like had booby traps.
Mhm.
They had. It's crazy how those people planned. Like they knew they wouldn't be here forever.
Well, you got to think too, like if you're making a giant pyramid to say this is where I died and here's where all my stuff is, obviously people are going to know where to go to steal it.
Right.
So you got to do something to prevent that.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe the acid getting thrown somewhere or whatever. I would love to see like a giant like documentary on how they engineered traps.
Yeah.
I'd be in. literally.
I do like it.
Yeah.
Because this movie took place, what, in 1923?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Crazy. The Mummy is starring Brendan Fraser as Rick O'Connell, Rachel Weisz, or is it Weisz?
Weisz, I think.
Weisz, sure, as Evelyn, John Hannah as Jonathan, Arnold Vosloo as Imhotep, Evie J. O'Connor as Benny, Oded Fair as Ardith Bay, Mid Djali as the Warden, and Patricia Velasquez as Anaxunamun.
I thought Imhotep was Billy Zane.
Dude, right? It
not.
looks like Billy Zane. It's not Billy Zane.
I could have swore that was the Phantom.
Yeah.
I could have sworn.
Phantom's like a motherfucker. Sorry. Different movie. You're right.
Have you seen the Phantom?
The Phantom is really good. It's on Plex.
You should watch it.
I don't know.
It's not.
It's like an action hero, but like takes place back then, like in the 1930s,
Yeah.
40s, I think.
I don't know.
Billy Zane is the man.
It's cool.
Just saying.
Check it out if you have free time.
Yeah. I think she might.
If not, I'm going to pick it and you have to watch it. So.
I do like Billy Zane in anything. Like when he showed up in Zoolander, I remember being like, yes, my man has finally something to like be like, people know him. Oh, look, it's Billy Zane. Runtime of The Mummy is 125 minutes.
It could have been 3 hours.
I just live in this movie. This is for me. This is my type of movie.
It does feel like when it's getting close to like when it could end.
It doesn't.
It keeps
It
going.
just goes.
Yeah. But you're okay with it? Well, I'm okay with it.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, no complaints.
Well, like, so the Mummy ride in Universal Studios, I want that to be way longer.
Hmm.
Like, sometimes when I've gone there and I'm like, it's not that busy, I don't want to just walk through the queue. I want to be in the queue. You know, like, I want it to be an hour wait because the queue is so awesome. Yeah. You feel like you're in Egypt and they're like,
you don't want to walk right through and get
right.
There.
That's how I felt about Avatar. Like the whole Pandora area. Mm-hmm. Like, this is just cool in here.
The only cool area in Animal Kingdom. I like giraffes, but there's only like one of them. Yeah.
I love
giraffes. So when we went for Horror Nights, I got the Fast Pass or whatever because I ain't staying in fucking lines anymore. And you're allowed to do all the rides there. So the Mummy ride, I've never had a Fast Pass to go on it. So I go on there because all the rides you get Fast Pass. So I do that. The Fast Pass lane for that is literally just like a plywood hallway.
Damn.
And I was so mad, dude. Yeah. I was like, God.
Take me through the queue.
I was like, I'm going back.
And I guess in their mind, they just think the queue is there
to entertain.
While people have to wait. But like when they make it good though and actually entertaining,
then you want to be in it.
You want to kind of experience it too.
Yeah, I will say it's not the whole queue. It basically you miss most of the queue and then it gets you right out to the stairs to go up to the loading bay. So you're seeing some stuff, but it's still like I want to see it.
Not the same.
Exactly. There was another one. The new Jurassic World, the Velocicoaster. I was a little mad at that too because I got a Fast Pass to do that because we were trying to do Hagrid's whatever the motorbike whatever, and that broke down when we were in line, so they gave us Fast Pass. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna do Velocicoaster. Dude, that Fast Pass did not let me go by anybody. Like it literally just skipped like a quarter of the queue, and then there's an area where you got to put a bunch of stuff, like all your stuff in a locker, because they're like, you can't have anything on this ride. It literally just brings you to the lockers. There's a whole other fucking queue after the lockers that took 45 minutes.
Damn.
And I was like, this ain't a Fast Pass. This is bullshit.
I do feel like now too, on certain nights and at certain parks, you get a Fast Pass because so many other people are just being like, I'm just going to get a Fast Pass nowadays, that it's starting to like balance out. You know what I mean? Because so many people are getting. Back in the day, it was like.
Well, I think they're going to do a thing.
The rich folk are
Disney's doing it now. They just released a lightning lane where you can buy it, and it's an additional $300. So if you're looking at getting a ticket, now before it was you could get like two. I think they were doing something where you can get on the app, and then you could be like, hey, I want to do this ride and this ride, and then it would give you a time you could go, and you would be in a queue.
You had to wake up at 6 to do that shit.
Yeah,
like,
it was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So now they're going to do a thing where you can get a Fast Pass again, but it's going to be so expensive that they're hoping that only the rich people or whatever will make it, so it's not super bad. But then that just makes the other lines 3 hours and back to that. So anyways, The Mummy released on May 7th, 1999. What a good year for everything.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if I saw this in theaters. I don't know. Can't recall.
I definitely did.
We were
11.
We were old enough.
I wasn't even
PG-13.
11 yet.
We were not old enough.
We weren't 11
Without
yet.
parental guidance.
We were young.
Yeah, we weren't 11 yet. We were 10.
We was 10.
Me too. Yeah. Ooh.
So I probably did not see it in theaters.
I don't even care. This movie. I remember watching the trailer, like the TV spots for it, and thinking like it was going to be a scary movie, and convincing my mom like, "Hey,
Sometimes to a 10-year-old that could be.
Yeah.
Though.
Well, I mean, it looks scary, like because the way they were showing just him kind of in the darkness and everything. And I remember reading stuff. I don't know. I couldn't have read it when I was 10, but I remember reading stuff about them making this a scary movie, and then they went, "Well, we got Brendan Fraser. We can't do that."
Pull back. Son.
Right. Let's
He's
make
America's sweetheart.
right.
But
Let's
I think
make this.
even the way that it is, it could be like depending on the kid. Or like, I mean, obviously there's killing and stuff, but even
obviously,
you know, her being kidnapped or like the chase scenes, or when he looks like ick.
Yeah.
Still, and he's sucking people up and everything. Like that's a little scary.
Well, the part where that guy
sucked
gets
them
like,
off.
when that guy gets picked up and you just see a shadow, and he's like,
crumples.
it's pretty. When you're a 10-year-old, that's like,
And
oh, no.
and when he first comes in there and it's like only half it, like you can see into his mouth and stuff, and it's just half of his face is kind of there.
Or when he's kissing her, and then it's like,
Yep, and you can see his tongue.
He had bad breath.
I mean, he's
can
been
you
locked in that.
imagine?
Oh, I couldn't even.
Halitosis doesn't even
No, thank you.
start.
How many years was it that he was locked
like
in there?
So
Death-
many, so
death
many.
breath.
Thousands,
Ugh.
300,000,
Oh,
no,
God.
3,000. That's
300,000.
maybe it goes around to being it's fine again.
The cottonmouth,
Yeah, I didn't see him
Times
drink. I
10.
didn't see him drink one thing.
like that's got to be what it is. Like it's
Well,
like
he's immortal, so
cottonmouth
maybe
times like 10.
maybe it doesn't
he's
matter.
always hydrated.
Yeah, he's just ready to go.
Perfect levels.
Yep. His pH balances are just
Ugh.
good.
Ick. Gross.
I mean, he was shooting
I hate
flies
that.
out of his
and
mouth.
the fact
and
that
stuff.
you could see his tongue.
And he eats the bug.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And you can see it like going over his like vocal cords or whatever, and then it's like,
Yeah.
what a way to go to for the other guy, the fat guy who just runs into the wall.
Oh yeah.
Do you think? I mean, obviously he was dying anyways because the brain's eating his bug, or his brain.
The
The
bug.
bug is eating his brain. Do you think that's an instant death there?
Probably not. I just don't feel like you know what's going on.
Not instant.
No, I mean running into that wall
No, I don't think
full
so.
speed?
because he was
No.
trucking.
I don't think so.
He would be concussed.
I think for sure, like,
So he got knocked out, major concussion, and the brain just ate his brain.
yeah.
The
yeah.
bug.
Bug.
It was
God.
rain.
And you were doing so good with
I
words.
know.
It was this. This threw you off. You read it so well, and now
I
it's
know.
just like,
Bug is,
You
bug
put all
is
of it
one
into
of the harder
this.
words you've said today.
and it's one of the shortest words you probably said today. So
Well, as long as I'm getting through the hard words, that's all that matters. But bug and brain are the same thing. In my brain, maybe there's a bug in my brain.
oh,
Maybe a worm. Am I RFK Jr.? No.
mayhaps,
Okay.
mayhaps.
Perhaps. All right. Box office that week. The top 10. Number 10, Mark Twain's America.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Number 9. Should have been number 10. 10 Things I Hate About You.
That's a good movie.
It's good.
It really is a good movie. And it's funny because I remember seeing The Rock from the Sun. Why can't I think of his name?
That was Heath. Is that Heath Ledger?
Heath Ledger and
The dancing girl.
Joseph
Gordon Levitt.
Gordon-Levitt.
I remember this being
like
like his first like
Joseph.
movie, and I used to love Third Rock from the Sun, and I'd be like, oh man,
He's
I
such
hope.
a baby.
I was like, I
and
hope he has a good movie career, and you
Right.
know what?
he did.
I think he's doing
does
pretty
that.
good.
He is such a baby, and like I that's one of the older like '90s movies that I will kind of go back and watch every now and then, because to me that's kind
Good
of,
movie.
even though it's different vibes, that to me is on the same nostalgia level as like Clueless and like some of those other '90s movies.
Mhm.
And so I'll watch that just like periodically, and he's such a every time I watch it, multiple of those actors in that movie, I'm like, oh my god, they're just babies. Gabrielle Union,
Yeah.
baby, although looks exactly the fucking same today. Looks it, we all know.
We don't gotta say
We
it.
all know.
We all know.
But like looks exactly the
Everybody
same.
knows. Sorry.
Yeah, cocoa
Like
butter.
literally, yeah, literally.
Maybe
though.
we should be.
I use cocoa butter. I just look old.
Although Julia Stiles,
She looks fine.
she
too,
looks
yeah.
pretty. Like,
Where
she
has
does,
she
yeah.
been
too.
though? I mean, after
I think she
Dexter.
stopped. I think she chose.
Yeah, she did some dancing.
Yeah.
She stomped. She did some street
Yeah,
dancing,
yeah,
and that
yeah.
was about it.
And what happened to him too?
That may be awkward.
Step it up. Not Step It Up.
No.
No.
So I think you can dance.
Save the last. No.
Oh, Save the Last Dance.
Save the Last
What is
Dance.
So I Think You Can Dance? I just made that up.
That's a show.
That's a show.
That's a show.
Where dancers are competing.
Oh, yeah, America. Number 8, Analyze This. Movies that people forgot about.
Yeah.
Right
Billy
there.
Crystal.
In.
Hmm?
And.
And
Glittering and
De Niro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Robert De Niro. It was Analyze. Which one was first? This one?
and
or-
that.
Yeah, but which
But
one?
I don't remember which one was first.
Analyze this, then analyze that, or would it be analyze that and analyze? No, I think it would be analyze this.
Would you analyze this first and
I think
then
we can
that?
analyze that and then this.
You think?
I think.
I think you should. Personally, I think you should
Analyze
analyze this
this
first
and then that?
and then that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Because I think it should start here and then there.
Right.
You know?
We're about to find out. Who's putting their money on what?
I'm saying it's this and then that.
This.
It is analyze this first, then analyze
I
that.
told you, you got to get through this before you can deal with
Get to
that.
deal with that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I got to do
I
that.
should have
before
said
I can
that
do
first
this.
as my argument. You got to get through this before you can go to that.
Sometimes that's important though. This can wait.
Can it?
That was good.
I don't think it can. Sometimes it
Depending
can't.
on the level of severity.
Sometimes it can't.
Like if this.
This sounds more like
Like if you
demanding.
have.
This
So like, oh, this is tough. I was like, if you have a water leak, but you have a fire, I'd put the fire out first, and then deal with the water.
You're not wrong.
What if you need the water for the fire?
Ooh. Yeah, you're right. You
I've
probably
tripped myself up my
you
own
did?
well,
conundrum.
if it's a gas fire, you don't put it out with water.
What do you put? What do you put a gas fire out with?
You just smother it.
You use oil, right, or something?
You fight
But
fire
like-
with fire. You put gas on
But
the
You
fire.
put gas on.
so maybe it depends
You
on
get
the
a
fire.
flamethrower to put the fire out.
Maybe it depends on the fire.
You have to scare that fire.
You got to scare the fire into submission.
Like when people say you have to fight fire with fire, so we're just burning everything
We're burning
down.
everything.
You're just-
Yes.
we're just burning it all down. Then.
I mean, it eventually
if we
goes
burn it
out.
all down, the fire will be gone.
Right.
The fire goes out.
Where's the?
Once
there's
everything
no-
burns, the
nothing
fire's
to burn.
gone.
There's no fault in that logic.
Nope.
No. Except we're all dead.
Full throttle.
Charlie's Angels.
You know, I have a
Two.
soft spot. I have a soft spot for those movies.
Do you?
They're
mean,
the worst.
That's
more
'cause-
the first, more
that's
the
'cause Drew
first
Barry-
one.
well, they're
I feel
all-
like.
It's
They're so
not.
great.
It's
I
honestly.
do love Drew Barrymore.
It's
And
Bill.
the
Mur-
first one, she's the best.
It's Bill Murray.
He's not. Is he even in? He's not in
he's
the.
he's the guy that talks to Charlie.
Yeah, but he's not in the
What's his
second one. It's
name?
Bernie Mac in the second one,
Murray?
isn't it?
No.
Oh. Oh.
Well, yes.
I don't remember
His character's
Charlie?
name.
But
Charlie?
no,
No, Charlie.
it begins with a B.
Betterman.
No.
No.
Bill. Is it Bill?
Bubby.
Bubby.
No, it's something with a B.
Bosley.
Bosley.
That's
Wow,
it.
good pull.
Good job.
The hair guy.
Yeah, the hair guy. We should call
We
him.
should know that.
We should call him.
Bosley.
Maybe that's why we don't want to say
It's Bosley, but it's Bernie Mac in the second one. I think. Bill Murray in the first one.
Yeah, you're
Bernie
fucking-
Mac in
you're
the
right,
second
you're
one.
right. Hey, you don't hear about Bosley anymore, do you? I wonder why. Probably didn't work.
Turkey. Cheaper.
Number 7. The School of Flesh.
The fuck is that?
You would think it would be like a horror movie, right?
That's what it sounds like.
I bet you it's not.
Or
We put on a dirty movie.
yeah. Or is this the first time a porn has made it to the top 10?
That would be wild. Can't do that.
Can't. Who's watching? You can't. You don't have enough
Fashion
audience.
executive Dominique's obsession for Quentin, a young bisexual hustler, fills her desire for physical love but leaves her
Oh, her.
taxed emotionally.
Very progressive.
I don't know any person in this movie.
Yet it's above 10 Things I Hate About You.
Well, that week.
Oh, okay. Have you ever seen The Transporter?
I don't know.
With Jason?
Yeah.
Hmm?
You know his French cop friend?
Yes.
He's in it.
He's in it.
Yeah. Francois Berlin.
That sounds
Berlin?
French.
Yeah, Francois.
So,
Francois. That movie has a 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. It doesn't
School
look like it would be
of
a good
Flesh.
School of Flesh. Sounds like
It's almost like Eyes Wide Shut.
What's the tagline
sounding.
underneath of that?
lessons in love, sex, and betrayal.
Sounds like Cruel Intentions.
Yeah, I want to say that it's a French movie, and the literal translation is probably not what it actually means, because it's, well,
Cirque de Flesh.
So it's
I don't know,
originally a
sh-
French movie.
School de.
Oh.
I said that like German,
You did, yeah.
and I think I would know more French.
You're from
than
Canada.
Yeah, I don't know. Not my bag, baby. Number 6. We're definitely in the 1999 movies here. Never Been Kissed.
That's a good one. Drew Barrymore.
How anybody thought he was a high school fucking senior playing baseball.
How anyone thought she was in high school. Neither of them looked like they were in high school.
I believe that's the joke in Not Another Teen Movie, right?
Yeah.
When she's like a grandmother.
because she's like 89 or something.
Does anybody know where the English class is? Sweet
I've
dude.
never been kissed.
Hilarious.
All right, Grandma.
Number 5, Election.
I don't know that one either.
All right, I'll fucking look it up too. This is why we need Wally here to be our man with the plan.
This is a craptastic 10.
Election. Oh, that's also
Reese
with
Witherspoon.
Drew Barrymore
Isn't that Reese Witherspoon?
and Reese Witherspoon. Yeah. Oh wait, no, that is Reese Witherspoon. Sorry.
I can't even spell
Matthew
election. I spelled
Broderick.
electron.
Yeah, they compete for
Chris
class.
Klein. Yeah,
they
yeah,
compete for
yeah.
class president.
Look
Matthew
at
Broderick
that.
and Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, you have seen it.
No, I just know what it is.
Never seen it, but I know it.
It just took me a minute to think about it. I was trying to picture the like the trailer and the cover or poster or whatever.
Oh,
It's her face.
I like Matthew Broderick.
I do like Matthew Broderick. A good Broderick. You know what movie that he's in that I like that not a lot of people like? Godzilla.
I've only seen Godzilla once.
That 1999 Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
Was that the first one?
I mean, it's not the first.
Not the
Godzilla
first one,
movie.
but like
The first
no, that was Roland
Danger.
Emmerich. The guy who did Independence Day made it. It's awesome.
I feel like I just watched something recently with Matthew Broderick in it, and I feel like he wasn't a great guy.
the cable guy.
Yeah.
That's all I can pull him
But
from.
it wasn't. But it.
There's a show on Netflix that came out before COVID that was like a zombie show where he's like the principal, and there's this like you're following this kid, and basically the zombies are only affected the parents.
Yeah.
And they like hold up in this like mall. It's actually a really good show. Can't remember the fucking name of it, but canceled after one
thought it
season
was- I
because
thought
it was
it-
Netflix.
I thought it was a.
Hmm?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
But I did.
I mean, you've seen
did,
Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right? He's Bueller. Come on.
I did start
Bueller.
watching. I was getting ready for something or whatever, so I didn't
Bueller.
watch a lot
super
of it.
young in that.
But I did just throw on No Hard Feelings.
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty funny in that.
He's not bad. I like that movie.
When they're sitting there talking to her about it, like at the beginning, where they're sitting there interviewing her, and he's just like
Thank you, good sir.
talking about, and both the parents, him and the mom, are just so awkward talking to her about how they're hiring her to basically bone their son, like to break him out of his. It's so uncomfortable but funny.
Yeah, I remember watching that for the first time and going like, I didn't have any like thoughts going into it. Like, yeah, it was gonna be.
I thought it was gonna be like, like a dumb, silly.
That's
movie.
from what Jennifer
I
wants.
thought it was
Yeah.
good.
I
Garrick and
enjoyed
I
it.
were laughing out loud
I
in the
enjoyed it.
theater.
I
I did
haven't seen it
not.
all the
I
way
didn't.
through.
I did not see her giving
Being
German
completely
being completely naked.
naked.
On a beach, giving someone a German suplex. I did not see that. I did not have that on my bingo card.
My dad, I remember after they watched it,
for
my
her,
dad was
is
like,
what
"But
I'll
do you
say.
really think that was her?" And I was like, "No, it actually is."
100%.
I said has spoken in interviews how like it was the first movie where she decided to be just completely like full, because she went she went
Red
almost
Sparrow
in
was
Red Sparrow, but this was the first full,
I'll give you
completely
that. I'll give you that,
frontal,
sure.
like naked.
Well, she was. Give her all the props.
thing.
Yeah, good for her.
Also, pretty sure she had her first kid before this movie, so like
Yeah, that was-
even
that
bigger
was-
props
yeah,
to her
that was-
because she.
She probably did that as like a. I need to get back.
I need to like
Yeah,
mhm.
good for her.
I thought. I mean, obviously there were parts of the movie that were like silly.
It was too
But
long.
I
to
thought it
me,
was
but
good
it was.
still.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
enjoyed it. Yeah, solid 7 out of 10 for me.
Like that kid looked
10,
every bit of at least a
Yeah.
decade younger than her.
which is
Like
important.
looked that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is like, how did he think she? Like, there's no way he thought she was.
No.
As young as she was supposed to be perceiving herself as.
No.
As smart as that kid is.
You know how they go. Anyways, number 4, Life. Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence.
Oh, the jail movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It
I
was
was
okay.
thinking,
It was
like the
okay.
board game.
You said Life, and I immediately went
Why
to.
haven't they made a board game?
I immediately went to Jake
movie?
Gyllenhaal, Ryan Reynolds, like the space movie that came
Oh, yeah.
out a few
And that
years
was-
ago.
that was
Immediately
me.
went to that. Well, I went and saw it, and I was like, okay,
Oh my God,
yeah,
Ryan
like,
and
Ryan
Jake.
Reynolds, and then
Who was the girl in it?
I don't remember, but what do you remember? What happens?
Yeah, they
I got in
space
there,
and
I got
shit.
all excited, and I was like, fuck yeah, Ryan Reynolds! Like fucking 10 minutes in.
Spoilers.
I haven't seen it, but it's okay.
He's not
Let's
in
just
the
say it's not in it for very long.
He has a guest part.
And
Pretty
he's
much.
in all of the all the
I mean, why wouldn't
promotional,
you?
all the junkets and stuff.
Why wouldn't you if he's going to be in the movie?
Still, one of my favorite clips from interviews that I've seen is that one of him and Jake Gyllenhaal where they're doing promotion for that movie, and I can't remember who it is that asks them, but she asks them, I think it's a girl, asks them about how great it was wearing the socks on set all day filming, and they both, it almost looked planned. They both went, oh my God, it's the best. They got like so excited to answer the question because they were like, I've never been so comfortable filming a movie, like the space socks or like the compression socks or whatever that they wore throughout all of the filming. They were like, it was amazing. I took some home. Like they got so excited to talk about it. They said, no one has asked us about this. And they got so psyched. They look like little kids because they're listening to her talk and they're just like,
yeah, because it's probably their 8th interview.
yeah, and they're just listening to her, and then she gets to the sock part of the question, and both of them eyes get big, and they're just like, "Oh my God!" Like it's just they had no idea where she was going with it.
Something to be said about having to do the junkets all the time. Like it has to be so fucking boring.
It's exhausting.
To every person that comes in is going to ask you the
A
same
lot of
question
the same
fucking thing.
because it's for different markets, and you can't not be happy about it, you know?
No,
or
because do you see what happens?
Exactly.
As soon as someone has an attitude in an interview or is tired or isn't acting bubbly, they write shit about them.
Right. So you got to be on all the time. And fuck that, dude. I can't. That's not me.
I'm not even on all day through the one day.
Right.
So like with the same person.
Right.
So
And they're not asking you the same. Well, they might be asking you the same questions throughout the day. I do that to my wife a lot.
sometimes.
I forgot again.
Top 3 that
the
week
scissors?
in no particular order. Then we got to guess the order. The Mummy's in it.
You
The
don't have- you don't
Matrix.
have to talk
Oh,
about
wow.
it.
Entrapment. Entrapment with Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Yep.
And is it Zeta or Zeta?
Zeta.
Sure.
I thought it
And,
was Zeta for a long time, but I started
Sean-
hearing people say
Sean
Zeta, so that's
Yeah.
why I thought it was
Oh, I know
Zeta.
that movie.
That movie is really good. That's me.
Or it was me.
Ooh.
It- do we know?
We don't know the weeks
Stop doing
because it's not
that.
fair.
Helps me.
It's not fair. You need to know your movie trivia. So The Matrix. When would The Matrix have come out? This is May 7th, 1999.
I think it probably came out in 1999.
That's a fair assumption. Very fair assumption. But I've seen like
I'm
Titanic
just
come
using
out
like
in different
logic. You know what I mean? Like, it
different
wasn't-
years. I've seen Avatar come out in different years.
That's fair, but it's not super early in the year. Like at this, if even let's argue
Mm-hmm.
that The Matrix came out in December 1998. I'm not saying it couldn't have still held up, but it wouldn't have been in theaters that long after.
Well, back then, I thought
Back
these were
then,
like 3-4 month runs.
You're
because
pushing. You're at 5 months.
Right,
at
but
this point.
I've definitely seen movies back in the 90s go 6 months.
like just because they were doing well. So they
They
just
were
kept
doing-
it.
they're making monies.
Lord of the Rings was in theaters probably for like a year.
Yeah.
I do feel like that one wasn't there for a long time. Okay, I'm gonna say. The Mummy, The Matrix, and then Entrapment.
I'm going Matrix, Mummy, Entrapment.
Watch it be Entrapment,
Matrix.
Matrix, Mummy.
Number 1, The Mummy.
Okay.
Number 2, Entrapment.
Jesus.
Number
Oh,
3,
no.
The Matrix.
I thought I had it.
So The Matrix was released March 31st.
I was going to say
So
March
see
or
that
April.
that's only 5 weeks.
Not March, April.
No, that's yeah, you're right. So if it's March 31st,
Yeah.
yeah, depending.
May what'd you
May
say?
7th,
Yeah. So about 5 weeks.
yeah. Still in the top 3, doing good for The Matrix.
I know the math stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know math. Budget time. What do we think it costs
Oh,
to make The Mummy? Let's be real. Brendan Fraser, doing good. I'm trying to help everybody out here.
He was a 90s guy.
Not
he was
trying.
a 90s guy.
90 guy. This
And
is a remake of a monster Universal movie that's like a big deal. They got a lot of cutting edge effects. There's a lot
they're
of
in
on.
Egypt.
They're
They
in
had to
Egypt.
get fucking camels, dude. They had to get camels.
They had to get at
They had-
least
that's
5
camel
camels.
trainers.
And they were
Can you train camels?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's camel trainers.
They had to get horses, right? Because he had them all on the one side of the river.
Wrong
Right.
side. I don't on the wrong side.
On the wrong side.
They had to get a river.
They had to get a river. They had to get a river boat.
They had a boat.
And they need a river captain to be on that boat because you can't have a river boat without a captain. You know, they had to get a plane too, right?
Yep.
You remember they had a plane?
Yeah.
They got a wall,
They
a
had
wall
to
of
get-
sand.
They had to get a mummy
That's hard to get,
who came to life.
right?
Where do you even find flesh-eating bugs? Like, come on.
They're probably expensive, those bugs.
I would assume like
That's black
one.
How do
market.
you get them back in there? You're like,
That's
hey,
black
hey, hey,
market.
hey, hey.
Yeah. You're wearing full-on
You
armor.
just-
We
You
lost another
follow-
bug wrangler again.
Full on. Yeah. We had to pay 7 different bug wranglers.
They just kept
losing them.
dying.
didn't
We
tell
don't.
about the other ones.
Yeah, we don't know. They just kept coming in.
They
It's
didn't
fine.
know enough about these bugs.
They didn't even ask what
We
happened.
ended
to
up
the
just
last one.
hiring random people off the street.
Give them that.
Do you like bugs?
It clearly
no, you're
didn't
hired.
matter if they were bug experts. It didn't help them out any. I'm going to say cost to make this movie. I'm
Cost
going
to
to
make.
say
This is 99. Well,
Yeah,
probably 97. Let's be real. When they
Right,
made
right.
this movie,
dollar goes a little bit longer way.
it does.
I'm going to say to make this movie 40 mil.
$40 million.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going 33.3 million.
Okay, 33.3 million. I
It
guessed.
felt right. I already had that picked before you even said a number.
Look at that. I guessed 60 million.
Wow.
I almost said 65, and I don't know why I dulled it down, but
This is why I talked this up first.
oh god, because it's about to be like a lot.
It's 100 million.
80 million.
Wow.
Again, they're in Egypt. It's hot. They got to have AC somewhere there, right? They got to be pumping AC into something. All the sets that were made practically for this too. There's a lot of cool
There's a
sets.
lot, yeah.
There's a lot of creature work. There's a lot of you know what I mean, like a lot of stuff.
Oh, I forgot about like the CGI for the whole zombie fight, like the last like 20 minutes of the.
Well, that, but
zombie.
I'm talking about
Mummy.
there's
Him and
zombies.
stuff
There's-
too. I mean,
Wait,
even just
hold-
him.
Hold on. You're right. Zombies and mummies are the same thing.
kind of
They,
the
I mean,
undead.
they are the undead.
Right. They don't need
They
to
move
eat
a lot
brains.
faster.
Yeah, but zombies are driven by a virus. They were driven
Not all
by
the time.
special commands.
Okay, you're
And
right. What's the bird, a stock? Sorry.
A crane.
they move a lot faster too. The
do.
undead mummies.
Dude, the guys with the hats or the tall or whatever, where they're like running all around the walls and shit. That's freaky.
Dude, when he yells at them and then they yell back and their mouths open
Yeah.
like this long. I'm like, first of all, like I get that you're the undead, but your jaw didn't open that wide before.
What they do
Why
now.
does it open that wide now?
Because nothing's hanging on.
So then it would just fall off. It wouldn't just open wider.
It's magic, Tara.
Just saying.
You know, you weren't there. Maybe
I
they
just
did.
hope I just wish they would keep it a little bit
Maybe
more
they-
realistic and when they're talking about mummies coming back to life. You know what I mean?
You're right. You're absolutely right. You need to ground this in reality.
But the
Like the mummy part, I believe. The mummy part coming back to life, I
you can
believe
just
that.
chop
I can
their
I can
arm
follow
off,
that.
But they're not. They're undead. Like it's not
They're
gonna
undead.
work.
The
I
part.
just feel like
You have
that-
to buy in.
Hold on. The part where that half arm is crawling on the ground, and then he uses it to grab the sword, is so genius.
I like
And it's hilarious. And you don't see fun things like that in movies anymore.
And then that part led to him cutting his knees
Yep.
on that one guy. And he
Yep.
crushed himself
Yeah.
with his own rock.
It's hilarious. Right. I just want good, fun action adventure movies. Is that so hard to ask anymore? Because when's the last time you saw a great, funny, all around action adventure movie?
This
Fall Guy.
Fall Guy was pretty good.
Fall Guy
It's
was
not action adventure. It was action.
That's
it wasn't
what I'm
action
saying.
adventure.
I'm
long.
looking
So like, what's a good? I mean, they were in the desert though. At
That was
one point.
long.
It was a long movie.
Long movie.
Good, but it was. But I feel like there wasn't a part where I was like, gee, oh my god, like, let's go.
I agree with you. I'm just saying, so action adventure movie,
Yeah,
like
like
a
where
type
they're-
where they're raiding tombs or like doing stuff where you're out in nature trying to find something and like it's a race to get there because somebody else is trying to find the same thing.
Sounds like the second movie.
Right.
Or like National Treasure or whatever. But even those aren't new anymore.
Right.
Those are older.
I do enjoy the National Treasures. I like a nice
I don't remember the second one like
treasure.
at
hunt.
all.
Book of Secrets. I do.
I like at all.
I
but-
remember because he's like, oh, look at this water bottle I have. I'm going to pour it on this rock. Oh, look, now it tells me where to go and put my hand inside this
He
rock.
is the best part of both of those movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like, sorry, not sorry. Like Nick Cage.
Who's
It's
that-
fine.
who's
It's
the-
fine.
The other guy, the white guy.
This,
Is
what
that the
his
white
name?
guy? Nicholas Cage?
What is his
No,
name?
no, the guy.
The little guy. What is his fucking name? He's
Riley?
Yeah, Riley.
Yeah, but
Riley's
like, what
his
is his
name.
actual name? Because I like him in pretty much everything he's in.
I've only seen him in National Treasure.
No,
One,
he's
two.
been in other stuff, but he's
He's
like,
always a little quippy.
yeah, like he I like him.
Sure. Since we're talking about it
funny
right
in
now,
I
those
like
movies.
him. You know.
Have you ever? Oh my God, what is that movie called? Geely, the Ben Affleck J-Lo movie.
the one that bombed and killed their career
Yes,
and
but
the
when they
relationship,
kidnap a
and they had to break up. Now they're back together, and they're
they
like, "Hey,
kidnap
you
a
want to do
mentally
Geely too?"
challenged like son of somebody. Like
That
that's what
was
they're
him?
doing. He played the mentally challenged kid, and he was
good at it?
So funny.
He was good?
Yeah. There's a part where he like is randomly singing "I like big butts" while he's trying to be pretending he doesn't know what's going on, and he's just in the corner. He's like, "I like big butts," and I can, and his eyes are closed, and he's just like singing, and Ben Affleck just like looks and is like,
That's funny.
"Okay, I just." But yeah, no, the movie itself not good, but like
Yeah. Box
liked
office
him.
time. What do we think The Mummy made in its overall box office run, its theatrical run in theaters? Money. What do we think?
$130. No,
I was gonna say 133.
I was gonna say 32. I was about to say that when you started shaking your head. Okay, well then I'm gonna say 130. I still want to be in the 130s.
Do that. Do that. Say that.
I'm at 132.
I'm bumping it up. I'm going 160 now.
60?
160.
You went a lot higher. I'm
did.
gonna say
160.
132 million.
So you're going 132 million. You're going
160.
160.
Yeah.
I guess 200 million.
Man, that's a good number.
I'm just gonna-
240.
I'm just going to say this right now. Brendan Fraser is the man.
So we're low.
And this movie was a fucking monster. $416.4 million.
I feel
In
like
the theaters?
in 90s,
That's a lot.
unheard of. Like unheard.
Not unheard of,
No.
but I'll say for this type of movie,
As far
yes.
as it not being one of like the major classics
Yeah,
that
yeah.
everyone talks about.
I mean, I talk about this as a
Oh no,
classic.
I consider it a classic. But you know what
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
have a
like
bumper
the ones
sticker
like
that says "Honk if you're watching." Yes. Sorry. Opening weekend, it did $43.3 million.
opening weekend over $40 million.
Yeah, that's big.
What was budget to make? 80 something?
80.
80.
Damn.
That's I mean, again,
Brendan
they banked a
Fraser.
lot. Yep. Poor guy too with what happened, but I like his comeback. He's doing good. I'll drink to that.
When in the movie when they're like bitching about or she's bitching about him being a dirty, filthy scoundrel, blah blah blah, and he walks up clean shaved,
Mhm.
haircut, you know,
ready to
fresh
go.
clothes, and
Yep.
she's like, oh,
Mm.
oh,
Oh, hi.
okay. And I love how her brother leans in and he's like, what were you saying about him being
Great acting is what I want to say. So again, because this is a re-review, we're going to get to something we haven't done on the re-review before when we get to our final decision, which is going over what we rated it.
Oh, the
last time.
previous
The
ones.
previous and the previous host, what they gave it. I want to say this. I remember Brent was saying how ugly Rachel Weisz was the entire time we were doing this podcast, and I'm like, what did you
Listen,
watch?
I will give you that the eyebrows were not eyebrowing, but that was the thing then. Like
in the
her
20s.
eyebrows were very thin, and
Period
that's
correct.
that's the
Period
way that it
correct.
was.
Rachel Weisz is a pretty woman,
She is.
and
She is. I like her hair, her aesthetic.
how anybody could be like,
And
nah.
she only looked better in the
Nah.
second one. Like
Yeah.
she only got like she's only gotten
And then
better.
when she goes back into the Egyptian whatever.
Oh my gosh, and she's painted gold too.
Ooh. I will say a bit of a cop out that he's a magi and she's also whatever.
Reincarnate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
She was his daughter
Come
or
on.
whatever.
Come on. Whatever. Tomatometer time. Rotten Tomatoes score. What do we think critics and audience gave it out of 100%?
Oh.
Critics first, audience second. Anybody can take it.
I'm gonna say critics 72,
72,
audience 84.
84.
I'm going high. I want to go 81 critics.
81, okay.
This is a good one.
It's a good
And
one.
then audience, I want to go like 88.
Okay.
I know it's very high for both.
No, you good.
But
I
That
guessed.
happens though.
I guess 70 critics, 85 audience.
So okay.
Same
page.
We're on the same page. Critics 62,
wow.
audience 75. I do remember this movie being not panned, but looked at by like Siskel and Ebert as like, it's just a popcorn flick that has no like substance to it, and it's not smartly written, and whatever. What they didn't know was this was actually very smartly written and very well done, and definitely
And
not.
critics are wrong.
Critics can be wrong.
That's why I don't like that shit.
No.
What, that people just get to say what they want?
Yeah, especially those people. It's like, get off
You're
your fucking...
hired to do this, and you're wrong. Like,
right.
Well, why do you always have to be like how like we started taking like how my objectively like watching movies?
Yeah.
Like I'm just watching this as if I don't care. I'm not gonna be like some people watch it and like, oh, this is gonna suck, or like, oh, this is gonna be really like I just try to go into it.
And I do
accepting
feel
the
like
movie.
even with us doing this, I still feel like I don't like I feel like when I'm watching movies, I may focus on certain things more, but I don't think I'm judging them harsher than I would have before. Where I feel like critics, I feel like
me neither. I've always looked at movies the same way my entire life.
I feel like
right?
critics
like,
are really aggressive.
Like prime example,
it.
what was that movie? So the movie that you what was that movie we watched with shit? I'm the worst. Where the guy was cloning himself.
Multiplicity.
Oh, Multiplicity. Yeah.
Yeah. So that like I wasn't in love with that movie, but I thought about it the other day, like a couple parts, and then the same with the movie that you did.
Yep.
That wasn't like a banger. What was it with the two gay guys?
Ideal Home.
Ideal Home. I laughed about. I thought about something the other day, and I was like, "Damn it! That Loki is a good movie." But it's like
I do think that
critically though, is it good?
Nah, no.
I do feel like it makes a difference.
Not, but I fucking love it.
It makes a difference, though. I do feel like when you're watching it with the mindset sometimes that we do go into movies watching them now.
Yeah.
Like when we're watching them specifically for this, rather than we are watching them like just
You're
because.
right. You're
like
right.
so
You're
we are going in, I do think skewed a little bit because we're going in being like, okay, what am I gonna say about this movie? And so we're focusing on it
But
a little
isn't
bit
that
more.
what the critics are doing?
But that's what I'm
Correct.
saying.
That's their job.
But I feel like they're even doing it even harsher than us.
Well, and I also think
Sometimes you can just enjoy a movie.
Yeah, I think there's a thing too with if you're Siskel and Ebert, like you have to have somewhat of every review has to be you gotta read this review, so it has to be like, oh fuck this movie, right, to get a headline or something. But
it's all about the clicks,
right? Even in '99, you don't think that. Oh yeah, people, you gotta fucking. You got to read that little excerpt and be like, okay, why am I reading this? What's attention grabbing and why?
Like, who's a Siskel and who's a fucking Ebert? Like,
movie critics?
I know, but why?
One of them's dead. Or they might both be dead.
I would like to know how movie critics got started, because before it was like a thing that you actually could go to school and like focus in.
Well, it's more of, hey,
were they just journalists that decided they were like, well, I'm a journalist and I like movies, so I'll just write about
they had
movies.
like a Sunday column and they're like, and
then that's how because I feel like a lot of the first critics
they're going crazy. They're going crazy.
They weren't like. I feel like a lot of the first critics, they weren't trained in film. They weren't trained in like, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
they were just like
people who decided to write about movies and thought that their opinion should be put out there about movies.
Shit's all fucked up, man.
Siskel and Ebert, I think, were like on the new, like one of the bigger news channels, and they would have like a 5-minute excerpt of, hey, what's out this weekend? And they would say, go watch this or go watch that. It'll come back. It always does. Don't worry about it. Oh, maybe not. We'll see. Yep, there we go. This is why we're getting away from it. It's fine. We'll be back. All right, back to the newer thing that I like here, the IMDb top and lowest reviews. This is from Catherine R. Johnson of May 3rd, 2021. So this is a relatively new review. It's always the right time to watch The Mummy. This movie
so she had seen it before. This isn't like she watched it and then decided to like she's seen it before.
This movie is a GD masterpiece and should be treasured. Great plot, great script, and a good action sequence that don't drag on. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Simple and right to the point.
Right to the point. She didn't need to like oversell it. She just like listen.
She's in it. This is The Low from CBAHN. So I don't know if that's Cbon. Probably Cbon. Kawan, I don't know. May 9th, 1999. This is literally
this is the next day.
He saw it
opening
weekend.
And then fucking went right on IMDb.
And yet this is still the worst one on there. Something from literally opening weekend is the worst one on there.
Effects are good, acting is good, everything else is just awful. This is the perfect example of what Robert Ebert calls the idiot plot. Look at that. I didn't even read this before. Where the events of the story are driven largely by the fact that the characters behave like morons. The direction is uninspired and the dialogue is often so banal it makes your teeth hurt. Hey, nice camel is the epitome, or how do you say that word? I say it wrong. Epitome of this movie's wit. I read it how it's spelled. 1 out of 10.
Epitome.
Sorry. Just like, what was the other word?
What was the other one? I cannot remember. And Wally and I were like, no, that's a word. And you were like, I don't think I've used that word. Oh my God, what was it? I'll think of it.
That guy's an
preface.
preface?
No, it wasn't that though. It was, but it was like it was.
Doesn't matter. Anyways,
I
back
think
to
it
this
began with
guy
a C.
saying that all the characters are morons in this movie. There's 2 that are morons, but that's the whole fucking point.
Yeah, the
Benny
main
and
people-
her brother Jonathan are morons, and that's the
Right.
point of the
yeah,
character.
yeah. The other people in this movie are not morons, other than the zombies
Brendan Fraser's
and maybe the
not.
fucking guy who ran the jail
Okay.
that went with them. But
Yeah,
like
sure.
the other people are like they're trained in history. They're like
Well, yeah,
skilled
her brother,
at
her brother's like,
something.
I found this, but he really won it
Yeah.
in a card game. Like
Right.
he's not a treasure finder. Like
No.
he's just like.
But he even him, he's not like an idiot because you do know he does show, especially in the second one, that he does know things.
Yeah.
I mean, he knows
just
things in this
doesn't-
movie.
he
Yeah,
can
he
read
reads.
how-
He
hieroglyphics.
just doesn't
I
like
can't do
Bird,
that.
a stalk.
he just doesn't like
And then the son does it in the second one. I'm like, God
dive
damn it.
into those
Yeah.
things. He would just rather have an easier life, so he doesn't work for things.
Right,
but
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's
That's
not
smart.
dumb.
That's smart.
He's not dumb.
agree
Honestly,
with
to
that.
be a con artist, you can't be that dumb, and
No,
he is
exactly.
kind of
You're just
a
lazy.
con artist. So,
'Cause that's
but I'm still trying to figure out what that fucking word was. It's gonna drive me nuts.
Doesn't matter. Who was your favorite character in this movie? What are you, Josh?
Oh, going to me.
Yeah,
Going to me.
because she's gonna be thinking about this word for the rest of the
It's
night.
hard. It's hard to say.
I'll get a text at 1 a.m.
Right,
It's
yeah.
this motherfucking word.
Yeah, I'll like hear someone say it in a movie or a show or something. I'd be like, oh my god.
Yeah.
That's
It's,
it.
it's hard to say. Like I want to say Brendan Fraser, but I don't want to. I think I'm going to say Rachel Weisz's character.
Okay.
I'm going to go with
Evie.
Evie because she is truly driven by wanting to know
Yeah.
more. Like she's already done the research. That and I loved the opening scene with her in the library where she just fumble fucks
Everything.
all of the bookcase,
Yep.
the bookshelves, and he's like, the guy's like, what are you doing? So I appreciate her character. I like what she brings to it. And then like she does fall in love
Mm-hmm.
with Rick.
And it's not like it's shoehorned in. Obviously, you can say, "Oh, it's a story," and they came together, and of course, the 2 best-looking people in the movie.
Right.
But that's the whole fucking
But no,
point.
but
of
that,
it,
yeah, like even like Brandon Fraser, like he steals
mm-hmm.
that little like kit for her. And he's
Yep.
like, I figure you could
You could use it.
use
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
Like
It's-
cute.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
stud
Look
out here in
at
the middle of
you. Yeah,
Egypt,
yeah.
still doing your damn thing.
What a guy.
But no, I like her character. I like what she brings. I like how she reels in Jonathan,
Mm-hmm.
and I like how essentially she is part of the main plot with
Oh yeah.
a Noxuna Moon, and then that evolves as it goes on.
Well, and I also like that she's not just a woman foil that's in the movie because you need a woman.
Yeah,
No,
she's
she's actually like
she
She's
is
not a silly girl. Yeah, like,
If you look at it,
other than
she's
reading from the fucking book. That,
right
like,
out loud. Like, come on.
mustn't read from
You
the
mustn't
book.
read from the book.
She's actually, when you think about it, the main character of the movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like we start after whatever, we go to her in the, like you said, the library and everything, but she's being looked at by all of her peers as a dumb woman who doesn't
Right.
know whatever.
because
And
she makes a mess.
Right,
Oh, no.
oh.
Take
yeah.
that, Pembridge scholars.
Right.
Yeah, when he's like, why do I have you? And she starts naming like the reasons
Yeah.
why she's there. Like,
Right.
yeah, I may make messes, but like, I
know
can
sh-
read all of this stuff.
Yeah.
I have a degree in that. Like, she starts naming all this stuff, and he's like, okay, but whatever.
yeah, for 1999, right?
Mhm.
That's pretty good to have this as the forefront
Your
of a movie.
female lead role.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're still at a point where we're not getting into it, but still like I enjoyed this. You know what I mean? It's
'Cause what's that-
refreshing. And it's still refreshing watching it today because watch any other movie that comes out, you don't have this
Well,
unless it's in your fucking face.
And put her in that time period in 1923.
Exactly, yeah.
The last thing anyone wants to hear from is from a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
You're right. You're right.
Especially in like a scholar,
Mhm.
scientific
Mhm.
type thing. They're like, look at this silly little girl.
Right. What are you going to teach
When
me?
really, like, they're digging below it, not coming at the side. Like,
And that
right there.
genius.
yeah.
She knew it right exactly in that moment like, oh yeah. Also though, like digging below, wouldn't that be a little like fucking
I
dangerous?
mean, that's what happens. You see it just fall.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
Because he's stupid and he's playing golf.
yeah, he's being a dumbass.
Yeah.
They're working. And he's
Yep.
like,
Yep.
Jonathan,
Yep.
I'm going to hit this
works.
rock in this hallway.
Hilarious. Would you open that sarcophagus?
No.
Even if you were like,
Dude, I
oh,
would-
look, a key
Steve,
fits
I wouldn't
perfectly
even
in it.
be in fucking Egypt.
Here's the thing.
So
I would.
If,
And I'd be in those catacombs and I'd be looking
absolutely
around.
would not be.
if
Oh,
I
dude, hell
was.
When
that-
she does the thing with the light and everything. Oh,
I mean, I would ultimately, but I know it's wrong. Just like they didn't open up that other sarcophagus.
You're right.
They had the
Mhm.
workers doing like,
Yep.
oh, we're going to stand behind this. It's like an X-ray.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
You'll be
when
fine.
he
Concrete
says
wall.
that, yeah, when he's like, wait, we don't know what's back there. Have them do it.
yeah.
Right.
When he have one of them do it. I love that.
Ooh. Hey,
I love that.
I thought that was so funny.
I love that for them.
it worked out good for him.
Hey, that's Daddy Titanic.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Essentially.
And
was
we
Daddy
were
Titanic.
also talking about he's Daddy Jumanji as well.
He's Daddy
Yep.
Jumanji.
He's just
Lots of
Daddy
dads.
everybody.
He's also not just Daddy Jumanji, but he was
He brought a gun on a boat.
He did.
he was the hunter in Jumanji. too.
We discussed that's part of the discussion.
He's the same.
Yep, same.
And here's another thing that I think is a revelation for me. Do you think maybe that was a dream sequence that he was actually in Jumanji, and because he's seeing his dad as the fucking hunter, that never happened?
No,
Okay. Just trying to.
Because
Why would his dad be there as the hunter?
because I mean he saw the kids later and stuff like that. And
That could all be.
Well, his dad was an ass.
but
Yeah,
also
yeah,
what's
that's
her,
what I'm saying.
what's
Yeah.
her face has all the memories too.
Does she though?
Yeah, she does.
Does she though?
When they run into the kids, she recognizes them too
Deja vu.
at the end of the movie.
Inception
Mm,
in Jumanji.
mm.
I saw a meme.
What if it was like a super cut and something like Leonardo DiCaprio was just walking through the woods?
Okay, I saw a
Damn
meme
it.
today that was talking about the movie Inception,
I'm
and
okay
it
with
was like, honestly, we all should have known that Leo was in a dream because that woman was too old for him. So obviously that was not real life. His wife.
I only go for 19-year-olds.
Because Leo ain't settling down. He's not ready. But
What year is it? It's your birthday. You're 21.
but I saw that meme.
Deuces.
I saw that meme just today where it was like a picture of him and his wife, like who had vanished or just died or whatever the fuck it was in the movie. But that scene where he's like looking at her and he's got it like his hand on her face and they're like talking and it says like, we all should have known that like that. Of course, that was a dream because like
It's not real.
she was too old for him.
Yeah.
Because she was the same age as him or something like that.
Tara, who is your favorite character in The Mummy?
I was actually gonna say Rachel Weisz as well.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Because
Rachel Weisz.
I do feel like a lot of the same thing that you said. Like she especially in the 90s,
Mhm.
she wasn't your normal like overly feminine like lead
True.
female role.
Very
Like
true.
she was a strong female role, and she not only was like they had to like he was saving her, but she wasn't.
She got to
helpless.
Hamanacha first.
She wasn't helpless either.
Or whatever she's doing on that camel.
He was saving her from situations that anybody would need to be saved in. It wasn't
Right,
like,
right.
Correct.
but she was also balls to the wall a lot of times too. Like she,
Well, she put herself in danger. She was like, "I'll go with him."
because she's like, I don't fucking
and
care.
like the way she stared at him, oh boy,
Mm.
she,
get you a woman who looks you the way
like
Rachel
you.
but
Weisz looks
she,
at
but
Brendan
literally,
Fraser
like
and the Mummy.
she was not.
I'd look at him the same way.
I would.
Even though she had to be
Even with that
saved,
bowl cut.
she was not. She was not helpless.
Correct.
She like
Right.
she was not.
Well, she was a technically, she was an Egyptian warrior princess.
Yeah, so she's got it in her blood.
Yeah.
She's a baddie from birth, man,
You're right.
and from
You're right.
rebirth.
You're right. You're right.
How you get double badass?
Double baddie.
I'm over it. My second life has been
That
nothing but
lingered.
anxiety.
I'm
and
getting
relax.
worse. I'm getting worse as I go.
God damn it.
She's
All right.
like, not only am I still a baddie, but now I'm smart and I can fucking read and shit.
Triple baddie. Coming at it.
And I can
All
marry
angles.
who I
A
want.
stalk, a bed.
Metaphys
It's
or
the,
whatever.
it's the,
Oh, God damn it.
A metaphys.
You know what's weird is when they're like perform. I know it's a movie.
Isn't
but
there a part in
when-
the second one that's kind of like that too, though?
Yeah, the kid's doing the
Yeah,
same
because
thing.
and she's like,
Yes.
yeah. Mhm.
And it's funny, but it's also like, come on.
Come on.
But it also shows how.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not mad at it.
Dominant
I'm
she
just
is
not.
in the
I'm not
film.
as. I'm a sequel guy. You know that. I love a lot of sequels. I'm not as high on The Mummy Returns as a lot of people is.
Man,
I
is
do.
high on it.
I
Yeah,
do.
damn it.
I is high on it too.
Something about it just makes me like go.
I like it.
But
I
do you
just want to
know-
watch the first one
Do you know why I think though? Like I feel like I'd watch that one more than the first one.
because it was always on TNT and TV.
Always.
No,
facts.
I think it's because I like that the movie starts with them already.
As a family unit.
Yeah, and I feel like you can play with that more.
I just
in
don't
the
like the
first
kid.
one.
I
In the
just don't
first
like
one-
him.
Well, no, because he doesn't listen.
I mean, what kid does? I'm not.
And
It's
that's
not
what I'm
that.
saying.
I don't like
think
his
that movie
acting.
made me not want kids.
Okay, touche.
That could have been one of the ones.
Hey,
Where I
because
was
that
like,
all started because he put that fucking bracelet on.
What are you doing, dude? And then the monkeys.
Monkeys.
The monkeys.
I
You
mean,
remember when they go through the forest with all those monkey mummies?
and they weren't.
they weren't
what
monkeys.
Were they? They were like trolls.
Yeah, they're like the locals.
They were monkeys.
They were little.
They were not
No, they were
monkeys.
little things.
The things that were swinging from the vines.
Yes, they weren't
Those
monkeys.
were monkeys.
No, the
See,
things
they
that were
didn't even have
jacking
fucking
everybody.
tails. They didn't. Go ahead, look it up. They were little tiki guys.
Were they monkeys?
No,
they
they
were
weren't
swinging.
monkeys.
were
They
swinging
weren't
from-
monkeys.
monkeys.
Are there monkeys?
That is not the right way to phrase that because, oh my God, they're going to be like, yeah, there was a monkey in a cage at one point in the movie. They weren't monkeys. Those bad guys in the jungle were not monkeys.
They're cannibal pygmies.
I know.
Yeah, not monkeys.
I mean, humanoid beings that reside in the oasis of, I don't know how to say that. Sheer?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
I mean, they're fucking
Not monkeys.
monkeys. They're cannibal pygmies.
pygmy, monkey, same.
No,
I don't actually think they are, Steve. I don't think we can same that one.
the pygmies.
There are also pygmy hippos. Those aren't the same as those.
I understand what you're saying.
They look like monkeys.
You know, look. This doesn't.
They look like monkeys.
This
Listen,
doesn't-
I get that they're strong. They're
This
scrawny.
doesn't have to be an L. You
They're
can just
scrawny.
Take this,
Oh no, I'm okay with being wrong, but they just look like monkeys.
They're
to me.
scrawny and they've got wrinkly faces and they swing from the trees. And I hear you on that. But they're not monkeys.
All right, I'll take the L. There's a book. No, you must not read from the book.
There's a book.
There's always books.
In The Mummy, my favorite character is Benny.
Like a little pennies, alright.
I like how
No, he's a flip flopper.
slimy he
Okay.
is. I like how he's just trying to survive. He's just out there doing his thing. And just when you think he's going to get away with it, he doesn't.
Doesn't.
That's
He
the best part of
doesn't.
Benny's.
He loads up the
That's the
gold.
best part
And
of
then
Benny
who
in the
gets
movie.
all of it?
Screwed.
Yep.
I was gonna ask. They never explained how they bought that lovely home.
I do find the only part of this movie that doesn't hold up for me.
That
I
house is huge.
mean, it's the 20s.
Well, I wanted to.
Was it her parents, maybe? Because
Well,
don't they talk about how
Obviously,
prominent
they
did.
her
came
parents
front
were?
money. They came
Yeah.
front money.
But I'm sure they had a couple of riches when they left.
Isn't that interesting though that they came from money and yet she did this way and her brother became a
As a con man.
thief?
Probably.
What do you
Maybe-
need to
but
be
if you
thieving for,
But if you think
bruh?
about it, that's probably how he got through school. It's probably how.
Maybe they weren't as rich as they let on.
Oh.
Anyways,
Or
the
he
part
spent all
How
his
broke?
fucking money. Or he
the only part special effects wise that doesn't hold up for me is when Benny's like doing the whole whatever thing where he's pulling out all the necklaces and he's like,
Oh,
yeah, or whatever. And then sorry. And then the mummy reaches out and says, "Do you want like riches?" The hand. I know
Yeah.
it's practical.
how it
It
just,
just doesn't look
how
good
it
to me.
unfolds like
Yeah,
that.
it just was like
I mean, I
riches.
guess I can kind of
Also,
do that, but like,
where was he holding those
and his
riches?
fingers are so long.
What do you mean?
What do you
Where
mean?
was he holding the stuff he had in his hands, the gold
Oh yeah,
like
because he didn't
rings
have any
and stuff?
fucking pockets.
He was
He's
just he was a
like,
mummy.
Steve, you can reach. He can reach inside himself, so maybe they were just in his ribcage.
Was he just holding on to those, just waiting for somebody to be like, "Leave me
Yeah.
alone,
He's like,
riches"?
"Yeah,
Kept him
bribe
in his
somebody."
colon. He had perfect access to it.
Yeah, I mean that's a
He was like, hold on,
his
hold on,
prison
hold on,
wallet,
Yep.
if you will.
And he doesn't even have to go behind because he can just.
Right through his stomach.
He can just grab whatever he wants, or because he's magical, he just wants.
Is
Here you
that-
go.
Well, the tomb is his.
Essentially,
Is
yes.
it?
Well, no,
Oh.
he's buried at the bottom
Yeah, but
of
we
the
can't-
Anubis
yeah.
thing. That is where the book of the gold book, the book of the
Book of the Living.
book of the living was
Book of
supposed
the
to be.
Living
They were
causes people
swapped
death.
for
Book
some
of the Dead
reason.
brings back to life.
Go
Yeah.
figure.
I like
know,
how
it's
they
very
were
weird, but
either
I
they were
liked that.
they were swapped or the translation was wrong. Because Evie, we're not
Yeah.
saying Evie
Take
translated,
that,
but
Cambridge
you know,
scholars. I do enjoy when she says that.
it is good. It is good. Okay, favorite part or scene in The Mummy. Anybody can take this.
Oh.
It's
So I actually was.
take a good pick.
I know.
'cause
I
there's a
actually
lot.
was gonna say this isn't my favorite scene, but I do like when he is begging for his life and he's just going through all of the denominations. He's just like, I
until
don't.
he finds one.
Yeah, until like
It's
the,
a genius
the cross,
character
the fucking
arc,
star,
though,
the,
when you
like,
think about it. Like,
Yeah.
like that to me shows just how slimy he is
Yeah.
and just how he's willing to
but
do anything.
also
to
that
get
he
away with
has
it.
them on all the time in
Right.
the case that he might like,
Unless he
whether
did
it's-
it
whether
going
it's
to
to
this
trick
place
people,
because he's been here before.
or
and he
whether
knows.
it's to protect himself. He's
Right.
like, I'm just gonna cover all fucking grounds.
Mhm.
And he went through like 4 before he even got to the one that helped him.
Well, I like how he does one first and
he's
then
just like,
drops it and then pulls all of them out.
Yep. Because you didn't know.
You're
the
right,
one
right.
was just there, and then he was
Yep.
like, okay, I'll try fucking another one.
This one, no.
The language
This
of the
one, no.
slaves. I can
Right.
use you.
Exactly. I mean,
Okay.
genius.
Okay.
Sure.
Use me.
Would you not?
I mean, you have to, right? Or you
You're,
die.
yeah, you
You
already
have
die.
to.
I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, the guy who's gonna have like eternal
Like
life.
he
and
could
then-
have gotten away. Imagine if he loaded all that gold up and then just left.
Yeah, you're right.
He didn't have to go back in there. He was being greedy.
You're right.
So like, what if he just left because it was coming to an end?
That's the whole point, right?
Greed is a lot of people's demise.
And apparently, one thing that they stole gave them how many,
Yeah.
riches of where they were at. So he would have been
Oh.
a made man.
I love.
What?
Winston
When
slipped
we-
my mind.
Oh,
When we
right,
left,
yeah.
we left, and then we didn't get anything.
As they're
and they-
going down.
And then the couple looks at each other. Well,
Or-
I don't know about that.
Or just when he
Okay,
meets him,
fuck
he's like, I
off.
haven't had a good. He's like, I haven't a purposeful mission.
Yep.
Since the lads died.
Yep.
I
Dude,
just want. I
imagine
want to
just
go
sit-
down.
yeah.
In flames.
Yeah.
I do. So to my one of my favorite scenes. I'm gonna do two real quick. One
Okay.
of my favorite scenes is a quick one where Jonathan's like, I'll go start the car,
Mm.
and then he runs outside and they're back there, and he's like, like for being an idiot.
Yep.
He was-
Pretending.
he was right in
yeah.
That
there.
was good.
I do love that.
And then two is when Winston, like when they're flying, and he's like, or when they're just in the plane, and he's like, "You okay, buddy?" And he's like, and he's on the thing, and he's like, the Magi's loving life.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah,
"This is badass," and he's like, "What do you think?" And Jonathan's like, going losing his mind.
Jonathan is funny.
Yeah. We haven't even talked about the Magi, which is weird. Like,
Yeah,
especially,
not at all.
especially Odin Fair or whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah, yeah.
What a beautiful human being, if
Yeah.
you will.
Oh, I thought you were going to go into the head of hair again because you guys have been
That
focusing
too.
on that a lot.
I mean, we've seen
I
Goose
thought
Bigelow,
you
male
think
gigolo,
he's
right?
you
What?
think he's done for when he
Yeah.
goes in that hallway.
Nope.
He's got the gun, and then he's like, "Get out of here!"
What a badass. Why
And
wasn't
then-
that guy in more movies?
One of my scenes that made that like I felt
Bring it back.
oh,
The Mummy.
like, about
The Mummy. What's another? Not it can't be The Returns. It's got to be something else. Mummy comes back.
resurrection.
Ooh, the Mummy Resurrection, and fucking Odin Fair is like, "What's up?
Or
I'm
like-
still here. Still got this fucking M30 or whatever it was, just ready, waiting, sitting on that fucking mountain, just." Sorry, continue.
Like that machine
Yeah,
gun.
yeah.
What I oh
What did it sound like?
What
I
was
don't
I saying?
I don't know, something about a favorite part or scene, maybe. Sure, I'll go with mine. The whole boat scene for me is great. The boat scene. I like how when he throws Benny over, he looks and he's like, "Wait a second, he didn't just climb up here that quick."
Right.
Because you see the water of somebody who came up there. And even before that, when he unrolls all of his weapons, she's like, "Oh my god!" Like,
That is
gotta
pretty
be
ba- that is a pretty
prepared.
badass
Yeah, gotta
part.
be prepared for anything.
I love where she goes to hang her clothes up and just misses the thing because she's so unfocused.
Mhm.
It
It's
wasn't even
genius.
that good of a kiss.
Right. Again, the whole scene on the boat is
Yeah.
amazing.
It's
And then even after the boat, when they're the wrong side of the river scene and all that is good. It's hard to pick too. This whole movie is
So
just
it's a good movie, man. It's a good movie.
a great movie. Great movie.
Great record.
Did you say favorite part?
No, I said that one little scene, but then something Josh said got me. I was about to say something else about the movie, and if
Oh no.
we were talking about the Magi.
And then I said Odin Fair should be in more movies because he's a beautiful human being. And then Josh was like, "Yeah, that guy's beautiful. Head of hair,
Nice set of teeth.
nice set of teeth. He's got some pearly whites that he probably got implanted afterwards."
Horace.
Horace,
Oh,
yep.
God damn it.
Yep. We haven't even talked about when they go to the actual Magi place, or even in the beginning where he's like they're looking at the map and he accidentally lights it on fire.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if you watch it, he's just like,
He's
"Oh,
clearly-
oh,
yeah,
oh no!"
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's hilarious.
Are you still stuck on the thing you were stuck on a couple minutes ago?
Yes, I think it's past that point. So, any what the fuck moments for us?
How about, okay, when the big
washing
guy.
his tongue in his mouth while she's.
Yeah.
Yep. The big guy.
The big when the big guy runs into the wall, but I'm talking about how about the other guy when he puts his arm in the thing? Are you putting your arm in a hole? Are you putting your arm in a hole in any type of tomb situation?
So if I'm in the 20s,
not
hold
gonna
on.
Be in a tomb.
If I'm in the
That's
20s,
in that movie, right?
Yeah, yeah. If I'm in the 20s
Yes.
and I've never seen a movie,
No.
who's seen a movie?
Is that the second one?
The second one,
It's
he
the
puts the
second
thing
one,
on
it's
his
the
I'm just
arm.
kidding.
I'm just kidding.
Once it falls off the kid, he picks it up, puts it on his arm, and
just
puts it in
kidding.
the thing.
Damn it.
But still, what the fuck?
That's my what the fuck moment
I mean, it
because
is
I
though,
thought it.
but-
See, that's the thing. These movies are so good.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I
though,
like-
either.
the part when he's taking the fucking scallops off the wall. He's like, "Blue gold."
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. He goes like that.
yeah, it's hilarious.
Oh, doesn't he cut one out of Jonathan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He flips that butterfly
Yep.
knife.
Because it starts. Yeah.
because he knows
That
exactly
reminds
what
me
it
of the
is.
part in Evolution where
Yep.
he's like, take the leg.
Take it, take a leg.
Yeah.
I need
as
some
it
ice
starts, As
cream.
it starts working
What
his way
flavor?
up.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. It's for my ass.
God, I love that movie.
It's a good movie.
I saw someone. It was like on Instagram, and they shared. They were talking about like how it was an underrated movie, but
It is.
It is.
and they were like,
so
"This is
much.
one of my favorite scenes from a movie," and it was when Sean William Scott is singing, is on the, and he's like, "Caw, caw, caw," and I was like, And then it cut off right when the guy's like, I think we've established like a caw and ticky are not working. And then it cut off. And I was like, no.
No, you got the wrong part.
I was like, that's great, but you have to incorporate the entire scene for that because that is.
You are
so beautiful.
You are embarrassing me.
Yeah.
Get out of the way, I'm going to shoot him.
Yeah. He's like, stand down, Harry. I got this one.
The whole thing is good. And don't
I
get
will
me
never
wrong,
shoplift again.
Yeah.
the caw ticky part is funny as well, but
The way he says, "Tookie."
and ticky are not working.
And it's like, "Roar!" He's like, oh.
Oh my
Also-
God, it's working. Yeah, when he starts singing.
he's the volleyball coach for the girls team.
Yeah.
And like when Sean William Scott's like, do you like see them shower together? He's like, yeah, all the time.
All the time.
Sometimes I shower with them.
Thinking of that part, it's like the most aggressive thing is when Kane sits down, he's getting coffee, and he's like, none for me. Like that's one of the most aggressive no coffee things I've ever
Well, he's
seen.
eating. He's like,
Yeah,
none for me. None for me. None for me. But hilarious. Why was he not in more stuff too?
Yeah.
He was the 7-Up guy. Make 7-Up yours. What a great slogan. God damn it. Guess what time it is that we haven't done on an episode.
6:50.
That's wrong. Well, you're right. Sorry. We haven't done this on an
I
episode
knew you hadn't
since
changed it.
you guys haven't been here. Body count.
Oh, the death thing?
We used to do body count on this episode on this show. When there was a movie that we watched that there was deaths in.
Is that an answer somewhere that you know?
Yes.
Really?
What do we
For
think? The
something
body
like this?
count.
Yeah,
So-
people keep track of that.
Yeah,
Do you
there's a
count
website.
the undead?
If they get killed again,
I
yes.
feel like you have to.
So the question is, how many people do you think died in this movie?
57.
42.
237.
What's this,
Brendan
What is this,
Fraser.
Rambo?
yeah.
No.
Brendan Fraser kills 67 and Imhotep kills 9.
He does rack them up in the beginning.
In the beginning
I
of the
forgot.
movie, in
They
that
charge.
war scene.
Isn't it funny? Imhotep only kills 9 people, and he's like,
I know, he's the bad guy. But Brendan Fraser kills 67.
who's the bad guy really?
Right, exactly. All right, let's get through these fun facts quick.
The fun facts of the fucking week.
With the exception of a loincloth, a few pieces of jewelry, I can't say it,
Jewelry?
and pasties, Patricia Velasquez's costume consists entirely of body paint, which took 4 hours to apply.
For that scene? For just for them to smudge it?
Yeah, I know, right?
Fuck.
That's ridiculous. Maybe it's the gold's hard to put
That's
on.
a lot.
That's a
Well,
lot.
But I feel like maybe today not as much because maybe they painted that on her. But I feel like you could spray. Nowadays, they do like spray, and that would probably have been a lot quicker. Like how they do spray tan. Like
I agree.
they
I
would
agree.
do.
Right.
But it's probably the black part that takes a long time because that's a design. You're literally like painting all of that on.
Brendan Fraser nearly died during a scene where his character is hanged.
She had a
Rachel
nice booty.
Weisz remembers Fraser stopped breathing and had to be resuscitated
I'll do it.
When was this?
when he was getting hung.
You need CPR?
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Everyone get out of the way. I got this.
Got it.
I don't know CPR, but we're going to make
I'll
this
figure
work.
it out.
The white nightgown Evelyn wore when the ship was attacked became transparent when it got wet and had to be digitally painted white during post-production so the film could keep its PG-13 rating. How wild is that? Hey, sorry, we can see these nips. You're going to have to do something or else it's going to be
Fix
an R.
that. Fix it up.
Sure, so let's go in and paint out nipples in every fucking scene she's wearing this. The library
Boil 'em
disaster
out.
scene was done in one take. It would have
Damn.
taken an entire day to reshoot it if a mistake had been made.
Did she really do that on the ladder?
She was not the one doing the walk around, but she was in the scenes where she was like hitting that one bookcase. Like
Where
falling.
she went back and
Yeah.
forth, and then
When you
but
see
she
her
wasn't
face,
doing it where it was
yeah.
standing.
When you see her
Oh,
face,
God.
that's her, obviously. When it's not, it's not. So yeah. The Magi was originally supposed to be tattooed from head to toe, but Stephen Sommers, the director, vetoed it because he thought Odin Fair was too good looking to be covered up.
He was. It's a good looking man.
I mean, come on. You're just like, no, can't do it. We need to see this whole man.
We need to see his beautiful face.
Mm-hmm.
A cloak lent by
He's
the
covered
British.
anyways.
Well, his face would have been covered.
They'd have like underneath the eye.
Right. So they just
When he
went
had- he
instead
did
of
have the
doing their whole
one.
face, they just went
Yeah.
Because they're like, this man's face is just
But
too
when you
good.
say like whole body, like you couldn't. I mean, they literally had long sleeves and pants and scarf and stuff on the whole time. So literally, they're just talking about doing his neck and face.
Right. And they said, no, can't do that. He looks
no,
too
that's
good.
dumb.
Can't do
Yeah.
A cloak lent by the British costume rental company Angels and worn by an extra in this film was discovered to have been in fact made for Alec Guinness when he played Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars A New Hope.
That is a fun fact.
That's
What do you
wild.
think happened to it after they found out?
Fuck! Let's put this somewhere.
Yeah.
Is it in the movie?
Yeah, it was worn by an extra, so it's probably
An
like...
extra,
it
not
just- yeah.
even one of the main people.
No, just
Some
somebody in the
random
background.
person was walking
Yeah,
around
just
in
throw
his
this
fucking
fucking
cloak.
duster thing on. It doesn't matter. It's a piece of shit. Nope. Historical.
Can you imagine if they were just like, yeah, take your stuff home
Right.
because they were extras,
And then they went,
and that person went back.
hey, this is Alec Guinness, 1977. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Yeah. According to director Stephen Sommers, Universal phoned him the morning after this movie was released and said, we need another one.
I bet.
How many years was it after? Because
Fucking 2. Like 2001,
but they
I think.
fast forwarded it obviously
yeah.
because the kid. I mean, they had a relationship, got married,
Yeah,
the kid, but like
Story fast.
But it only came out a couple years
Yes.
after, yeah.
Right.
So they just jumped right in.
I said chronologically it had to be at least, 7 or 8 years.
Because how old do you think that kid was supposed to be? No, there's no way he was only 7.
7 or 8?
Maybe like,
He was not 12.
He was not that old.
you don't think?
No.
You think
a
he's supposed to be
child.
8? I'm just thinking about
Maybe
my
10
friends. I'm just
10
listen.
tops.
I'm thinking about my friends' kids, and the ones that have like 7-year-olds seem way younger than him.
Yeah, I was like 12 seems too. I don't know. I don't have kids. I don't.
That kid looks 10. Sir, he's 15.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're probably out of all of us. You're
Right.
around them
There's so many kids.
more than
Leonardo DiCaprio was rumored to have been offered the role of Rick O'Connell.
Ugh.
It's believed DiCaprio was said to have loved the script and wanted to be in the film. However, he had already agreed to star in The Beach.
Thank God.
It's also been said that DiCaprio asked if The Beach could be delayed so he could film The Mummy, but producers refused. However, filming of The Beach was delayed anyways.
That movie's
Not good.
and fucking like
This movie would not be
Weird.
the same without Brendan Fraser.
100%.
that movie's weird.
If this was,
The
The
beach
Beach.
is uncomfortable.
if Leo
Like, that
was in
movie's-
this movie, I would be like, ah,
Get outta here.
no, it's not good. Not good.
He was 8.
He didn't made it all sexy.
Yeah, I know.
He was
Tom, sorry,
He was 8.
he was 8.
Apparently, he even says at one point in the movie, "I'm only 8 years old."
Look at you.
But is that real?
Was he 8, or was his character?
I wanted
8?
to know what his character was, but I can look up how old he
Oh, but
actually
it was 8. Yeah.
Sure. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Chris O'Donnell, and Matthew McConaughey were considered for the role of Rick O'Connell. Cruise would later, obviously as we talked, star as a lead in the reboot of The Mummy in 2017.
When did the second Mummy come out?
2001 or 2.
He was 10.
He was 10. There you go. Despite the name, the title character was never mummified. His followers were, but he was subjected to a very different death.
Very painful.
Yes.
So it says that only 9 years had passed between the first Mummy and the second Mummy. So
they got busy.
I was about to say they literally they got pregnant the first year they were together because it's 9 months.
I mean, what's there to do in
Was there
Egypt?
contraceptive back then?
No.
19. It would be
20.
Yeah, what was it
1924.
supposed to be?
1923.
Yeah.
So no.
I think back then they just magooed, and that was it.
Well, back then it wasn't believed that you had sex unless you were trying to have a baby. So
I don't believe that.
Pleasure.
I don't believe that at all.
I'm talking about in
In Egypt, for
certain
sure.
countries.
In Egypt, they're boning.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Final decisions out of 10. What would we give this? What would
Could you
this be a
imagine
must
only
watch?
having sex to procreate?
No,
I would
we'd all
never.
be virgins.
Yeah, we
bro.
all. Yeah, we wouldn't. What are we doing? Before we get into our actual reviews, we're going to talk about the original reviews or the original scores of the first time we did this, which was actually episode 21. We are now on episode 194. So it's been a minute since we've reviewed this movie.
It's been a while.
So the average score of this movie was 6.3.
Seems a little low. Well, you said that one guy didn't like it, huh?
So Brent gave it a 5.5.
Oh Jesus.
Ryan gave it a 6, and George gave it a 6. I gave it an 8.
I thought it'd be higher for one of your favorite movies.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, you're lowballing your own shit.
8's pretty good.
Steve's a harsh
Then what's
judge.
a 9?
Steve's a harsh judge. Steve, you've never even
All right,
given
hold
a
on.
10, have you?
I have not. Okay, hold on. I am upping my score since the first time we reviewed this.
Here we go.
The movie for me just gets better and better with age, and while all the trash that has come out since, I really long for the time of these summer blockbusters that were fun, well acted, well written. 9 out of 10 now.
Wow.
It's going up.
And now it sits among your very limited.
9s, yes.
Nines that
I've
you've
only
given.
given a 9. I've never given anything over a 9 yet.
I feel like I'm generous on scores.
That's fine.
I'm
You
a
do
generous
you.
person.
Everybody has their own score system, and to me, a 5 can still be a good movie. You know,
I feel
if
like
I
I'm
Oh, sure.
if I've enjoyed watching a movie, doesn't mean that I'm going to score it good.
I get
You know what I
Well,
mean?
you can enjoy a movie and it not be a great movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, because entertainment is different.
That's
than-
like I feel like that's a lot of my movies.
I feel like I'm a midi. I've given a lot of like in between score. Like I feel like I stay a lot between like 5 and 7.
Yeah.
A lot of the time.
And
And it's got to be like, I've obviously given some lows, and I've given a few like 9 8s, and I think I've only given
You give him 110.
110.
What was the adjective used? What was it? Dangerous adventure?
No,
What
it was a violent adventure.
violent adventure.
Yeah.
Or adventure violence
Okay.
or something like that.
Sure.
When they were describing the
Yeah.
rating, yeah.
'Cause
For,
this is
for
thi-
adventure violence, that's what I
Yeah.
said. For adventure
I mean,
violence.
it is. It really
It's not
is.
just regular violence.
I will say, like, I mean, I don't know how to put a value on this because every time this is on TBS,
You just stop it.
TNT,
You watch it.
I stop it. Or what I do is I click it and then I go back to searching and it's in the recent, so it's right there. I can, like, if there's a commercial, bang.
Oh, guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's a high rating to me. If you're stopping
yeah.
what you're doing in life
To
Yeah.
watch that.
and it's on and you're like, I could watch this whenever I want, but it's
Yeah.
on right now, I'm watching it.
for me, I'm gonna go 8-8.
8.8.
I'm gonna go 8-8. That's a high rating.
Yeah, okay.
It's a well-rounded movie. You get a little comedy,
Get
get
a
some
good one.
action. You got the thriller. You got the undead.
Yep.
You got the adventure violence,
Adventure violence.
the boobies,
You got
The
you got
plane
romance.
wins. Yeah, a little bit of love. I mean,
booty.
even the tough guy,
Yeah.
a little soft.
He's doing
You know?
it for love.
Maybe.
No, he is.
Uh,
Think about it. All he's trying to do is be with his love.
Yeah.
And he's trying to resurrect her. Is that wrong?
God, could you be more clingy?
Just let me
Jesus,
die.
Like, can you just leave me alone?
Yeah.
You are too much.
Like I was sleeping good.
Can you
and woke
imagine
me
if he
up
brought
for
her
this?
back and then like they were like,
This isn't gonna work.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm so done with you.
It was
I
just
was
an affair.
just
It was
I mean,
just an
she
affair.
she literally left him to die.
Don't
in the
catch
second
feelings,
one, so...
bro. But can we talk about this for a second?
Non-committal.
Is he really a bad guy if he was just trying to love someone?
I don't think so.
I mean,
But it's who he was trying to love. That was wrong.
she was someone's slave.
Oh yeah.
Not like she was his wife.
Wasn't wife?
No, it was his mistress,
Stress.
Right.
which they were very open about back then
Right.
in that country.
Because
But
the
it
Egyptian
was not his
pharaohs had
wife.
needs.
Because she wasn't what's her face's mom.
Service
Right.
the needs.
Right. So is that so wrong of him to be wanting to be with a woman?
I don't think so.
Right. And then that got taken away from him. And
I'm
then,
actually with you on this.
That's what I'm saying.
I
Like,
think
is he a bad
I think
guy?
he went about it the wrong way.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
I think it's unfortunate that he,
Yeah, you know.
had to like take some lives.
So
to
hold on.
bring one
Hold
Only
on.
back?
9.
Hold on,
Only 9.
only
To bring
9.
one back.
What if he had a conversation with Rick and was like, "Hey, man, look, once I bring her back, I'm done.
Why
like,
don't you
I don't want to
take
do
me-
anything."
Well,
now."
nobody's
Why don't
immortal.
you take me to the prison? You show me the worst people that you have in there. I'll suck their lives up. You're gonna kill them
Well,
anyways.
he can't. He has to take the people who took the vials, right? The bottles, right? Because they took them.
Yeah.
If they didn't take them, then he
That's
wouldn't have to do
unfortunate.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So hey, sorry, I didn't write the fucking
Rules
spell,
is
bro.
rules.
Exactly.
Rules is rules.
You guys came.
Yeah.
This
yeah.
is how the game is
In here.
played.
I was sleeping, just chilling, right?
I was not a care in the world.
So they have the conversation. He's like, "Look, Rick, real quick,
talk, man.
real talk. I just want
I need 2 days.
2 days. Let me get my girl, and we're just gonna go do our thing. I don't want to make anything else, even though I'm gonna have all the power in the world. I don't care.
Also,
I'm
to
being my girl."
argue, he wouldn't even have killed 9 people.
No.
He only needed the couple.
You're right. I just want. Now he did
And
have
technically, the girl that would have.
to. Technically, he has.
gone-
He
she
has to
would've
kill.
gone
He
into
has to kill
because-
Evie. You're right, because she needs a. Hey, I just need your girl.
Although he didn't need Evie, he chose Evie.
Technically,
Which is interesting in the second one. Then when you find out that she was actually the pharaoh's
right.
daughter.
So maybe.
So that's a little confusing. But like,
But even if
he didn't need.
he
9.
wasn't
At
a bad
most,
guy.
what, 4?
Look, justice
A
for
handful of people.
justice for Emotemp. Here, I'm gonna go out. We're gonna make shirts. He wasn't the bad
And the
guy.
only reason the Americans were the ones, like you said, that got killed is because they went into his temple first, into his tomb first, taking his shit.
Just like Americans do.
I did feel really bad for the one guy that got his eyes and tongue taken out.
You seem like a good guy.
And then-
my tongue.
And he was so
yeah.
sad.
Happy to meet you.
Yes, and then when oh my God, when he knocks his drink down and he's just like, oh,
And Benny's like, oh no.
oh no, we
Oh,
want to
no.
thank you for your service
You did.
and your eyes and your tongue.
Oh.
And he's just like,
Oh.
oh God, here it comes.
Right. That's I mean,
Take my eyes, not the
Not
shirt.
the shirt. Are you gonna get something?
Are you
saw
gonna,
from
are you
across
gonna
the
order
way.
this? Are you gonna order something?
all right. What are you giving this out of 10?
I'm gonna give it an 8.
An 8. Solid 8 across.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I also think it's well rounded. I don't think that I don't have many qualms with the movie. I like all of the main characters in the movie. I like the acting in the movie. The plot is your typical, I mean, like, could you pull holes at it? Maybe.
kind of.
Like, could you pull some threads and figure some stuff out? But like at the same time, it's fantasy.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
not like
it's
it's an
a
adventure
movie.
fantasy movie.
It's a great movie.
It's not real.
right.
But also,
Just go, mummies.
but also,
I'm out.
I love the second one too. So like, I have to give props to this movie because
Yeah.
Tease up the
they
second
roll
one.
with
Tease up
it with
the
a
second,
good with a good sequel.
And there's a
So,
train in the second movie. I like trains.
There is a train.
I
in
like
the
trains.
second movie. And the people that touch the drunk still die.
You're right. So 8.8, 9. This is up there. This might be
This is
in
getting
the top.
this
It
is
might
it's
be in the
definitely
top
getting
10.
bumped up
I feel
from what
like
it
I feel like
was
they
for
were
sure.
harsh on this.
I mean, you know, it is
No,
what it is.
I feel that way too.
Next week, we're back to our regular schedule program. It's my pick.
Want me
We
to?
actually talked about no, hold on. We actually talked about the movie I was going to pick, and I had
talked
this
about it
down.
today?
We did talk about it on this.
Oh.
I'm going to continue the action adventure train here.
I like it.
National Treasure.
Wow.
Let's fucking go.
All right, I'm fine with it.
Nicolas Cage, whatever the guy's fucking name is that you said.
Riley,
Riley, that guy. Yeah.
the blonde.
The blonde.
His dad.
Angelina Jolie's dead.
His dad,
Um,
Christopher, or not,
Driving around in John
John
Voight's car. What? It's gonna be a good time because I love this movie, and yeah,
That's
next
a
week.
fun movie.
Look at you racking them up. You get Brendan Fraser in The Mummy this week. You get a
You know,
Nick Cage
you know.
movie. You're like living life over there.
You're right. I love me some action adventure, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Is I want an action adventure movie to come out
That
lately
lives up to these ones.
that not just lives up, but just like continues the fun.
I'm not
And I
gonna
haven't seen
lie.
one.
I know they don't have like an actual trailer and stuff out for it yet, so I'm kind of like putting the cart before the horse
Sure.
type of thing. But I am excited to see what comes of the new Jurassic movie.
I'll give you
Like
that.
I like Jonathan Bailey. I think putting ScarJo in it is an interesting choice. But she's done well in blockbuster hits, but also action movies
Look.
too. So I'd like to see what they do with
You
it,
good?
especially
Does that sneeze?
since
I thought it was gonna be much
since
worse.
Just let it out, bro.
they're
Yeah.
like
Food.
diverting from the last diverting from the last 3. I'm interested to see what they do with it
Look, I'm gonna go see it.
because I like
regardless.
dinosaurs.
I like dinosaurs.
Let's go see it.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna see it for
oh, yeah.
sure.
We're gonna see
Oh,
it.
I'm gonna see it.
I will see every Jurassic movie that comes out. They could make 17 of them.
So I almost picked to go off
14
the,
of them.
Yeah, I almost picked to go on the action adventure trail. It was between 2 movies this week, and it was National Treasure or The Lost World Jurassic Park.
That's the second one.
Yeah.
It's the second one.
I like
It's
the
good. It's good. That one's
So.
good. That's because that's Jeff Goldblum heavy on the Jeff Goldblum.
And been fun.
Uh,
But anyways,
and
Next
Julianne
week.
Moore.
National
Yeah.
Treasure. We're gonna do it. It's gonna be fun. Anybody who's still listening, still watching, thanks for listening, watching. Subscribe,
Like it.
like it, hit the button, hit the bell to get notified. Is that still a thing? I don't know. But anyways, thanks for watching, listening. See you in the next one.
It'll be
Bye.
fine.
It'll be fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.